afternoon. Bob Thomas will kick it off. The deep man for the Rams will be Barry Redden, number 30, and number 31, Robert Alexander. And, of course, Redden ever dangerous as a return man and also at running back, where he spells Eric Dickerson, the second-year man from Richmond, their number 1 choice in 1982. And you can see on the shoulder of the Bears today a special commemorative patch for George Stanley Hallis, the Papa Bear, who will certainly be missed throughout the National Football League, and what a mark he has left on the game of professional football. Thomas kicks it to the 5-yard line, down at the 4, and picked up at the 1 by Redden, who's going to bring it up, and that was a mistake. He is hit almost immediately by Calvin Thomas, number 33, and got only to the 9-yard line, the 14-yard line. And so the Rams will bring out Ferragamo at quarterback. Eric Dickerson, Mike Guman is what they call the U-back here. George Farmer and Preston Denard are the starting wide receivers. Bill Bain for the injured Irv Pankey continues at left tackle. Hill, Smith, Hara, and Slater, a veteran offensive line with Mike Barber, the tight end, nursing a hamstring, number 86. Vince Ferragamo passing at 62.5% this year with 14 touchdowns, but 17 interceptions. First down, just inside the 15-yard line of the Los Angeles Rams. Dickerson is met behind the line of scrimmage and dropped for a loss by Otis Wilson and Al Harris. And Al Harris is playing at right linebacker today, number 90. He has had some linebacker experience before, but with the injury to Dan Raines, who is out of action today, you'll see that Hartenstein, Osborne, McMichael for the injured Dan Hampton, rookie Tyrone Keys in Harris's spot, and then Harris with Singletary and Wilson in the linebacker position. A scrambled secondary, the 4th free safety to play in this position for the Bears, Dave Dewerson, for the injured Gary Fensick. And, of course, Jeff Fisher also hurt. Last week, Terry Schmidt played there. Schmidt will be the nickelback today. Second down and 11. And again, the Bears swarming in aggressively to drop Dickerson. Hartenstein and Todd Bell drop him for yet another loss. And Johnny Morris, Al Harris said yesterday, we've got to be aggressive early. We got to show them we can play Bears-style defense.
And you can see, watch Todd Bell, number 25. He goes by Kent Hill, just gets in through the gap there and makes the tackle before it gets started. So Todd Bell, 25, beat a lineman there to make that tackle. And they have Harris over on the left side of the ball this last time. Now he's back on the right side. So Harris is playing his linebacker spot depending on the situation over on one side or the other. Now he's with Keys on the right side.
They've gone to 3-4 here. They've got Simmons in. David Simmons in at linebacker as well. The pitch to Dickerson. Dickerson has running room on the right side and may have picked up the first down. He's over the 25, and from a 3rd and 15, Dickerson has turned it into a Rams first down with David Simmons and Dave Dewerson making the tackle on a 16-yard gain.
And he is something else. You're going to see David Hill, number 81, out in front, and David Hill does not throw. If he'd have thrown his block here, Dickerson might have gotten more yardage. He's out in front here on Todd Bell, and he kept his feet, and Todd Bell was able to come off it and make the tackle along with David Simmons. So the Rams moving the ball.
Now the Bears have lined up Keys on the left and Hartenstein on the right side. So Buddy Ryan, the Bears defensive coach, is really showing some new things this afternoon. Ferragamo on first down. It is out for Barry Redden. Redden to lose one tackler. Wilson has a first down to the 39. A flag is down on the play. Redden had the first down yardage. Dewerson and Singletary made the tackle. Let's see what the call is. The referee today is Chuck Heberling, pardon me.
He might have been pointing to Mike Barber. Number 86 may have been the guilty party, but let's not indict him. But the Rams had some opening there. He was wide open. Harris missed the tackle, so did Otis Wilson, but there was an illegal block.
We've certainly seen some defensive scrambling by the Bears on this first series, Johnny.
They're all over the place.
Chuck Heberling.
Illegal use of the hand. Offense, no number, first down.
No numbers. There's somebody out there with no number. I think it might have been Barber.
All right, it is 1st and 15. A break for the Bears as the Rams, after 2 outstanding defensive plays by Chicago to open the game, made up the yardage on one run by Dickerson for a first down. They had first down yardage again on the pass to Redden, but now they're back at 1st and 15.
4-man front for the Bears.
Barry Redden. Redden off tackle is stopped after a gain of about 4 yards. Steve McMichael and Tyrone Keys made the tackle. Keys, the rookie from Mississippi State, who came down from the Canadian Football League, was acquired in a trade with the New York Jets, who held his NFL rights. There's Al Harris.
Now, at this time, he was at the left linebacker spot. And you'll see Barber's 86 is going to commit the fraction, but he goes down the field. He'll come up and miss the tackle, but he was going to his buzz zone on pass defense, and Redden puts a pretty good move on him, and there was the infraction that you saw on the play before.
All right, we are back to 2nd and 9 for the Rams. The ball is at their own 27-yard line. David Hill goes in motion, the U-back from the wing position, now steps up on the left wing. Blitz from Harris. The pass to Dickerson. Dickerson shakes loose from Singletary and has the first down to the 41-yard line. And Eric Dickerson, and the cliche of modern football, is a load.
Okay, that time they played off the blitz. As you see, number 90, Al Harris from the left linebacker spot blitzing here, so he just dumps it out to Dickerson, and Mike Singletary, number 50, has to come over from the inside here and cover up on that situation, and he does not get Dickerson down. What a runner he is. First down, and I'll tell you what, a nice little check-off, a sight vision check-off by Ferragamo and Dickerson, and they beat the Bears on that one.
Jim Osborne ultimately made the tackle, 13 yards downfield. First down, Los Angeles. Opening offensive series of the game. Dickerson trying to find room in the middle, not much. Picked up a couple. Osborne is there again. And Otis Wilson, number 55. So it'll be 2nd and 8 for the Rams, coming out from their own 14-yard line after the opening kickoff, where Redden perhaps made what appeared to be a bit of an unwise decision to return that kickoff, and he got only to the 15. But they're
do you know who's Dickerson's hero in the National Football League is?
No, well, I know that he wanted to meet Walter Payton.
Yeah, that's right.
He asked his friend Willie Galt to be sure and introduce him to Walter. I'm not sure that that got done out on the field before the game, but it probably did. 2nd and 8. Here's Dickerson, and a good tackle by Mike Hartenstein, fighting off the block and catching Dickerson from behind. It'll be about a 3-yard gain and bring up 3rd down and 5. Quickly, some final scores from elsewhere in the NFL today. As you see, New Orleans over Atlanta 27-10 to move to 6 and 4. And we have San Diego over Pittsburgh. I'm sorry, Pittsburgh over San Diego 26-3. And look at this. Finally, Tampa Bay with a victory, and what a big one that affects the NFC Central, 17-12 over the Vikings at Minnesota. 3rd down and about 6. 3 wide receivers for the Rams. Farmer in motion. To the short side, almost intercepted by Wilson. Intended for the tight end Barber. Bears had good pressure on Ferragamo and nearly had an interception. Well, so the Rams will punt.
They put the safety blitz on that time, and Ferragamo had to dump it, and Otis Wilson on a man-on-man situation on the tight end almost had him stop an interception. You'll see Todd Bell coming in here as they put on the blitz, put a lot of pressure on, and there's Otis Wilson on good coverage, could not bring it in, but the Rams will be forced to punt.
McKinnon back for the punt from John Misko. Catches it on the fly and goes out of bounds and over a photographer on the near sideline. Young lady was just introduced to NFL football, a female photographer on the sidelines. 41-yard punt for Misko. There she is, and she's up and all right. Now knows what football cleats feel like. We'll be back. Scoreless football game. Tim Ryan and Johnny Morris at Anaheim Stadium. The Bears will start for their first offensive series at their 19-yard line following the punt by Misko. And it is Jim McMahon at quarterback, and Mike Ditka keeping everybody in suspense and surprise all week. At least he did that publicly. And it is McMahon who gets the start. He came in relief of Evans a week ago. They give us to Matt Suhey. He's got running room out the right side. Turns it upfield to the 24-yard line. Matt Suhey, number 26. Linebacker Jim Collins and safety Vince Newsom made the tackle. Offensively for the Bears, with McMahon at quarterback, Suhey and Payton. Dennis McKinnon getting the start for the injured Ken Marjoram. Willie Galt, the other wide receiver. Covert, Jackson, Becker, Van Horn, and Moorhead. Jay Hilgenberg as the start at center. Dan Neal bothered with a bad back. Dan Raines is not in uniform today, nor is Dan Hampton. Starters from the defensive unit. Both teams hurt in the secondary. 2nd and a yard. Payton has it. And then some. Walter Payton, and he could not stay in bounds. trying to dance down the sideline, is forced out by Newsom at the 40-yard line.
Oh, what a great block by Jimbo Colbert, number 74. I believe he has to pull out there. The tackle has to pull. Payton waits for the block. Here comes the block by 74 as he knocks number 21, Nolan Cromwell, out of the play, and then Walter turns it on, and we're seeing the other side of the Eric Dickerson situation.
Well, as you pointed out, it seems that Walter raises his game just another notch when he knows there's another outstanding running back, and he's probably saying, hey, Eric, you're still a rookie. You don't have the skins on the wall, as Jim Finch, the former general manager, used to refer to Walter's accomplishments. This is Payton. Payton over the 40 to the 42-yard line, a pickup of 3 to bring up 2nd and 7, and it was Jim Collins, the third-year man from Syracuse, with the tackle. Youngblood, DeJournay, and Reggie Doss, the starters on their 3-4. Owens, Collins, Eckern, and George Andrews, very active, very capable linebackers. A banged-up secondary. The safety, Johnny Johnson, playing on the left corner. Vince Newsom, the rookie, starting in his spot. Eric Harris moving to the right side to replace the injured Leroy Irvin. So the only normal starter is strong safety Nolan Cromwell for the Rams. 2nd and a long 7. Suhey, Koshin off the wing. Short pass to Payton. Payton picks up about 5, is met by Collins, number 50, and number 55, Eckern, and the linebacker Owens. All 3 linebackers on that side getting in on it. It'll bring up 3rd and about 2 as Mike Ditka, the head coach, who played, of course, under Papa Bear Hallis, was hired by him and wants to restore that winning tradition. It's been a tough season for Mike Ditka in his 2nd year. 3-6 a year ago in the shortened season. 3-6 thus far this year, feeling the media pressure in Chicago. 3rd and a yard at the 49-yard line. 3 tight ends are in. Play action. McMahon can't find an open man. The Rams pick that up well. Now to Payton. Payton down the sidelines, out of bounds with a 1st down in Rams territory at the 35, where Jim Collins forced him out. And that was a fine effort by Jim McMahon, and I love that call.
Yes, and he was, notice how split the guards and the tackle in the center are trying to spread everybody out on that 3-4 defense. Now Walter Payton comes up to throw a block. He sees McMahon start to roll out, takes off down the field, and he is such a good pass receiver. Never drops a pass, goes down the sideline, little high step, and it's another 1st down for the Chicago Bears.
17-yard pickup, opening offensive series for Chicago. 1st down at the Rams 30. Off the wing right comes Payton. A little change there with the give to Suhey. Suhey turns it upfield off tackle over the 30-yard line. A gain of about 7 for Matt Suhey. Eric Harris and Carl Eckern combining on the tackle for the Rams. It'll be 2nd and 3 as it turns into, well, they just dropped it back a little bit. A 6-yard gain for Suhey as we see John Robinson in his rookie season as a coach in the NFL.
Doing a pretty good job. He says he enjoys pro football. He said he loved it at USC, but he said he got so involved in recruiting and everything like that. He only got about 50% of his time was to coaching football, and he says now all he does is coach football, and that's what he's loving.
What an impressive man to talk to, and just seems to fit that mold of man who will be a successful NFL head coach. Payton is met by Eckern, number 55, just over the line of scrimmage, and dropped in his tracks. He'll get maybe a yard, if that. Bringing up another 3rd down. Carl Eckern, the 7-year man from San Jose State. He's been bothered with injuries, but he's a good one.
You'll see the pulling guard, 65, Noah Jackson, coming in there, and Eckern gets in underneath him and jams up the trap. And the Rams did a good job that time with the linebackers stunting in.
Now they brought in David Lewis here on 3rd down, along with Gary Jeter, number 77, and they've been preparing this week with a little special defense for 3rd downs against the Bears, and linebacker David Lewis, the former Tampa Bay Buck, is in, and Jim McMahon didn't like what he saw out there, and so he's going to go and talk it over with Mike Ditka.
Maybe he was surprised to see Lewis because the Rams haven't done that very much, so
they use up a timeout, but McMahon will have a chance to keep the drive alive. We are scoreless here at Anaheim Stadium. Tim Ryan and Johnny Morris back at Anaheim Stadium. 3 wide receivers are in. Brian Bashnagel has joined McKinnon and Galt on 3rd down and 3. Opening offensive series for the Bears there at the Rams 28. of the shotgun. In motion, McKinnon. Incomplete, intended for the tight end, Moorhead. On the coverage with Ivory Sully, number 37, the nickelback. And that was almost a Bears touchdown, but Sully, with excellent coverage, did not give Moorhead enough room to grab the football.
The pass was perfect right there for Moorhead. Sully hit him right afterwards as he was juggling the ball and knocked it loose, but the pass was perfect, and Moorhead could not maintain control. And I'll tell you who was wide open. Dennis McKinnon was wide open right over the middle on that play, so we'll probably see that again.
4th down with Thomas attempting from the 36-yard line. A 46-yard attempt for Bob Thomas, who was 8 of 15 in the field goal department. And that will be short and to the left. And almost the way it moved through the air looked like it had been tipped, but I don't believe it was, Johnny.
I think Thomas may have scuffed his foot. He might have not hit that ball right, because I thought I heard a noise, but could I hear a noise?
It's from way up here. We are. It's possible. The way it took off, it looked to me like somebody might have gotten a hand on it. Let's see if we can see on the replay.
Let's take a look. Here's Johnny Johnson coming in here from the. He did scuff the turf. It's hard to tell, but anyway, it didn't go right, and the Rams stopped the Bear drive.
All right, so the Rams take over at their own 28-yard line when we return to Anaheim with 5:26 remaining first period. Back at Anaheim Stadium, 5:26 remaining in the first quarter. The Rams taking over on the missed 46-yard attempt by Bob Thomas. We are told that apparently Johnson did get a fingertip on that ball, and the deflection no doubt had an influence on the direction of that kick. So it is first down on the one-back offense of the LA Rams. Ferragamo on first down, complete to Dickerson out of the backfield, and Al Harris being tested for the first time today in a one-on-one with the running back out against Harris in his new linebacking role. Now let's take a quick look at some other finals that we have. You see, oh my goodness, Cincinnati over Houston, 55-14. Houston winless in 10. What an afternoon for the Bengals. Dallas over Philadelphia, 27-20. The Eagles always play the Cowboys tough, but Dallas moves to 9-1, and Philadelphia falls to 4-6. Second down and 6. 4-yard gain by Dickerson on the pass. Out to Dickerson again, and he could not hold on, and Mr. Harris was there, and he was in a perfect position to really put a lick on him.
Now you see Harris was over at the left linebacker spot that time. The Rams spotted it, decided to send Dickerson out there. Let's test Al Harris as he goes out into his pass coverage zone, figuring that maybe Dickerson can give a little deke to Harris and get by him, but no such luck. He has to catch the ball first. Al Harris on a tough job, because you know he's a long-legged guy, and to be playing, he's quick for his size, but to be playing linebacker exclusively, that's a real test.
6'5", 250, 27-year-old Al Harris from Arizona State. In motion behind the ball is George Farmer. The pitch to Dickerson on 3rd and 6. Dickerson has the first down. Good hard running by the rookie Otis Wilson. Stopped him at the 40-yard line. But Dickerson, involved in all 3 plays, gets the first down on the 3rd try.
Nice move inside the block. You're going to see Harris 90, and you're going to see Hill, number 81, blocking on him. Harris tries to string it out and hopes that there's pursuit from the inside, but Dickerson cuts up the field and is able to get the first down for Los Angeles. He has a nice cutback, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. Harris still got involved in the tackle there.
That's right.
Off the block, a 9-yard pickup for Dickerson. First down to the 40-yard line. On the wing is David Hill, number 81. Play action, Ferragamo, lots of time, up the middle, and it is almost picked off and then almost caught by the tight end Barber. Mike Singletary, the middle linebacker, did a fine job defensively for the Bears.
Pretty good pass protection for Ferragamo that time. He had to move forward in the pocket, then was a little off the mark. He threw it a little bit behind Barber, and that almost caused the interception. Here's the look at the pass. You see 86 at the bottom of your screen. He has to come back. It's a little bit behind, but otherwise it would have been a completed pass.
2nd and 10 for Los Angeles. Scoreless football. First period here at Anaheim. As we see that one again, you can see Singletary as the ball was thrown behind. He got a hand on it. Barber made a good second effort. Nobody came up with it. Pitch out for Barry Redden. Redden cutting it back inside. Picks up about 4 as Harris tripped him up and Keys finished him off. Tyrone Keys, number 98. Well, a makeshift defense with the injury to Dan Raines, who is playing in a spot originally occupied by Gary Campbell, then by Brian Cabral. And with Raines going down, Al Harris moves back from defensive end. And talking to him yesterday about it, he was clearly a little bit nervous. He was not about to say, hey, I'm ready to go out here and play 100% at linebacker. He knew that they were going to test him. He was looking forward to the challenge, and they have gone at him, and he's held his own.
There's another man that's on the spot, Dave Dickerson, playing the free safety spot for Chicago.
Third down, passing situation. Ferragamo. Sideliner is complete to Guman, and he is downed by Todd Bell at that point, but the Rams got a first down. Todd Bell on the coverage just got enough of Guman, who shook it off, but the whistle is blown. 7-yard pickup and a first down in Bears territory at the 48.
And that pass had to be perfect to Guman because Todd Bell was on the coverage. As you'll see, Ferragamo has the time. Good pass blocking by the offensive line. Now, Bell is just a fraction of a step behind, but the pass was right in there. And Mike Guman, who does so well at that U-back spot, was ruled down because of the contact with Bell. The Rams, the first time into Bear territory.
U-back has no special significance, just the term that John Robinson had given it, as Dan Henning gave an H-back designation in Atlanta to his wingback. Ferragamo under pressure finally just unloads the football. Tyrone Keys was the man who made him finally give it up. There was good coverage downfield by the Chicago Bears secondary.
There certainly was, because Ferragamo had all day. He'll take that time anytime, because he had at least 5 counts to throw the ball, couldn't find anybody, so you have to credit the Bear coverage. Vince Ferragamo, who's had kind of a erratic career, hasn't he? Led the Rams to a Super Bowl and ended up going to Canada and back here, and has finally established #1 quarterback. John Robinson said he's our guy.
2nd and 10 for the Rams. We have 2:46 in the first quarter, no score. Rams' second offensive possession. Dickerson is jammed up. The Bears' right side of their defense did a fine job. They just plugged everything, knocked the blockers back, filled the gaps, and Osborne and Bell wound up getting a grab on Dickerson, who had nowhere to go. 3rd down.
You know, this game has taken a big significance for the Bears, because with Minnesota losing, the Vikings are now 6-4, and the Bears are 3-6. They could actually kind of get back in it with a victory today. Conversely, on the other side, for the Rams, they need a victory because New Orleans won today and San Francisco could win later on. So this is a big game for the Bears. If they lose it, it's bye-bye for the season.
3rd down and 9.5. Ferragamo. Upfield, he's got a man open, he overthrew him. Intended for Barber. Last-second pressure by Keys and McMichael may have hindered that pass somewhat. He had an open man, did not get it to him. 4th down. This telecast presented by authority of the National Football League, intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of the telecast without the express written consent of the Los Angeles Rams and the National Football League is prohibited. John Misko into punt. McKinnon back for the Bears. Punt a little on the short side. McKinnon cannot get started at the 15. A good ankle tackle by Howard Carson, number 54, reserve linebacker. And so the Bears will start first down from their own 15 when we return to Anaheim Stadium. 1:50 remaining in the first quarter. The Bears and the Rams are scoreless. Back at Anaheim Stadium, Tim Ryan with Johnny Morris. And the Chicago Bears starting first down on the real grass of Anaheim Stadium. The ball at their own 15-yard line, following a 33-yard kick, a short one by Misko of the Rams. In motion, McKinnon. Flag down. Suhey turns it upfield and picks up about 4 yards on the play. It was Jim Collins, the linebacker, who made initial contact, and Mel Owens, his linebacking partner, number 58.
The next time you see the Bears line up, notice how the splits are for the guards and the tackles. It looks like they're split almost across the field. They're trying to spread out that 3-4 defense of the Rams, so they're trying to create some bigger gaps for guys like Payton and Suhey to run through.
The penalty is against the Chicago Bears.
Illegal motion, offense, number 74. First down.
Covert called for illegal motion will make it 1st and 15. Back just over the 10-yard line. And look at this. Tampa Bay over Minnesota, a final. Green Bay over Cleveland, a final 35-21. Of course, next Sunday, that brings up an interesting battle in this NFC Central. Minnesota now 6-4, Green Bay 5-5. Walter Payton pulled down by the cornerback Johnson at the 10-yard line for no gain.
What a play by Johnny Johnson, number 20, as he came up to force. He had to face Kurt Becker, the pulling guard, number 79, take on a 260-pound guard. He bounced off that and still made the tackle. Now you'll see number 79 pulling. Here's the right guard, 79 to the right of your screen. He's going to hit Johnson, number 20, and try and knock Johnson out. But Johnson, 20, stays in there, gets in behind Noah Jackson, and hangs on for dear life for the tackle. Good play by Johnson, having to play a cornerback, and that's not easy.
Johnny Johnson, a 4-year man out of Texas. He comes from a family of 11 children. And Nolan Cromwell is secondary teammate, family of 8. He's got that in common, among other things, and flags and whistles everywhere. Little discussion among the officials to see who was guilty here of some kind of motion. There's a smile from Chuck Keberling. Illegal motion is called again against the Chicago Bears.
Well, the Bears have Willie Galt running all over the place in motion, but they haven't thrown to him yet today and haven't thrown to him too much in the last 2 or 3 games, despite the fact that he has 600 yards. Most of that yardage was garnered in the first 3 or 4 games. So Willie Galt would like to get back in the action.
Number 81, simulating the start of a play. Offense. 2nd down.
That was Jay Saldy simulating the start of the play. Obviously, he came up out of his stance, and that's the first time I've heard it designated that way.
He certainly spelled it out.
Yeah, look at those penalties.
Penalties have been a huge problem for the Chicago Bears. They've rolled up all kinds of offense to hurt themselves with penalties and turnovers. Payton blasting out over the 10-yard line to about the 13. Got back about 8 of the 20. And it was Collins and Owens again, the linebackers, making the tackle, but it'll bring up 3rd and long, 3rd and 13 for the Bears, and McKinnon comes back in along with Jay Saldy, bringing in the play, number 81. 22 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Both teams moved the ball well in their opening series. They've been bogged down since. 3rd and 14 from the shotgun. McKinnon in motion. McMahon pressured out of the pocket and is forced out of bounds, well short of the first down at the 16-yard line. Chicago will punt. Mel Owens forcing him out. Good coverage by the Rams secondary. You got 2 teams with injuries in the secondary, starters out, and so far they've done a good job downfield.
And what a contrast to last year when Ferragamo threw for 509 yards against the Bears, and the Bears won the game, I think, 34-26. They were going up and down the field. It was an enjoyable football game. And so far, no scoring.
There is Bob Parsons, and here's how it looks from Parsons' view of the pass from center and the on-rushing Rams. The deep man is Johnny Johnson, replacing Leroy Irvin in the punt returning department. For the Rams today, Irvin out with a groin injury. Good kick by Parsons. Backs up Johnson to the 37. He gets away from the first man. Johnson's got a lot of room. Now finally, Hilgenberg hauls him down at the 40-yard line. And the punter, Bob Parsons, was right there with Hilgenberg. So Johnny Johnson taking over for Leroy Irvin. Returns at 26 yards off a good punt by Parsons. It was a 48-yarder.
And that was the problem. It was almost too good a punt because it went so far beyond the coverage of the Bears, and Johnson took advantage of it. It's 0-0.
The Honda Accord.
Ryan and Johnny Morris back at Anaheim Stadium. The Bears' makeshift defense has done well against Los Angeles through the first period. The Rams 35 yards rushing and 30 yards passing. Ferragamo brings him out. He is 4 of 9, 30 yards, and they have the ball in Bears territory after the punt return. Stein making the stop on Eric Dickerson. A gain of about 5 for Dickerson.
We were talking to Ram coach John Robinson yesterday, and he was saying that the Bears are a good defense. He says they'll stop you and stop you, but he says the way they play their defense is that every once in a while you can pop one on them. He says what I have to do is make sure that our team goes by the game plan, and he said if we do, eventually Dickerson's going to break one and go. As you look at some of the scores, the Raiders beat Kansas City 28-20.
And New England over Buffalo 21-7. Second down, long 5, Dickerson. And a good diving, slashing tackle by Otis Wilson. And then Jim Osborne getting a piece of him from behind. Stopped him short of the first down. A gain of about 2.5 for Dickerson. He and Payton each had 26 yards rushing in the first quarter. Ferragamo, as we said, 4 of 9 for just 30 yards in the first period. So this patchwork defense with Harris at linebacker, Dickerson at safety, Keys at defensive end, and a lot of shuffling around from left to right among the linebacker and the defensive end. Buddy Ryan so far has got these Rams tied up in knots. Just early going. Third down play, and there they are again. Singletary putting the stop on Eric Dickerson. But a hard shoulder tackle that gained him only about a half yard. And it'll be fourth down. That was an excellent defensive series.
And you'll see Singletary, number 50, fills the gap as they turn him inside. And you can see it's pitch right, pitch left, and they're trying to stick to their game plan. Obviously, John Robinson felt they could run outside on this team, and so far they have not been able to run that much. Dickerson got away for that one good run, but so far the Bear defense has stopped him.
The Rams have called timeout. And we have a fourth down situation at the Bears' 32-yard line. Ferragamo wants to talk to Robinson. We'll return. Certainly going to go for it from the 32-yard line on fourth down. Ferragamo has the play from John Robinson and his offensive staff. The Rams had 65 yards in the first period. The Bears had 68. Los Angeles does on fourth down. The pass up the middle is incomplete. And Singletary had the blitz on Ferragamo. The intended receiver was Henry Ellard, the rookie from Fresno State, number 80. But the pass was off the mark thanks to pressure from this guy.
And it was kind of a delayed blitz. He got through there slick and clean. See, he's way off the line of scrimmage, number 50, and he sees the gap, and Ferragamo senses him coming. He has to get rid of it, and he does just in time, but not enough mustard on it. He couldn't follow through with his right arm, and that was it. The blitz paid off for the Bears, stopped the Rams. It's Chicago's ball on the 32.
So the Bears will take over at their own 32 when we return to Anaheim Stadium. We're still looking for points on the board. All right, the Rams organizing their offense here for the next time they have the football, but they have given it up here on fourth down to the Chicago Bears, who start from their own 32. Suhey in motion behind the ball. McMahon flares it out to Suhey. Suhey with blockers in front, cuts it into the middle of the field, hit from behind and knocked forward for an additional 4 or 5 yards. Reggie Doss made the tackle, and it'll wind up about a 7-yard gain for the Chicago Bears. Well, the NCAA Today next Saturday at 12 o'clock Eastern time will feature a couple of Western teams, UCLA's Bruins and the Arizona Wildcats in a Pac-10 game. In the Pac-10, the Bruins are unbeaten at 5-0-1, 5-3-1 overall, and Arizona currently 2-3-1 in Pac-10 competition, but 5-3-1 overall. So watch it next week. 2nd and 3. Chicago Bears from their own 39. Short drop, quick pass, Galt. Galt is dropped immediately, but he has the first down. It was Johnny Johnson, the cornerback, playing out of position today because of the injuries, and he made the stop on Galt.
Willie Galt, who had 28 pass receptions going in, just down on the straight down 5 yards with the hitch, hoping that he can break the tackle by Johnson, but Johnson made sure of it, did not prevent the first down. But the Bears, one thing they have done is spread out their receptions. Galt had 28 going in, Moorhead 28, Payton 31, Marjoram 20, and Suhey 24. So that's one thing Mike Ditka has accomplished. He has brought everybody into the passing game.
McKinnon out to the right, Galt out to the left on first down on the 46. Walter Payton cuts it inside and gets to the 50-yard line for a pickup of about 4 on the play. 2nd and 6 coming up for Chicago. Reggie Doss, number 71. Carl Ecker, number 55 on the tackle.
As you look at Mike Ditka, who did not reveal he's starting quarterback, probably for a lot of reasons. He wanted to keep the Rams in the dark, and there's some speculation that one of the reasons he felt that McMahon wasn't doing the job is he was not practicing hard enough, didn't study enough. And McMahon says, I practice, I'm just kind of a loosey-goosey type of quarterback. And he said, just let me go out there and do the job. So Ditka's letting him go out today.
2nd and 5, Chicago. Suhey in motion. McKinnon incomplete. A little high, some pressure on McMahon. Rushed it a little bit. McKinnon got fingertips on it, but couldn't bring it down. Johnson on the coverage.
You have to give everybody a little credit this time because the Rams put on the blitz and put the pressure on, which they're trying to do. McMahon did spot it. You go for that little quick post to the wide receiver, but Johnny Johnson was on the coverage. The pass was a little bit high, and it was incomplete. But the Rams defense did the job as the Bears continue to go after Johnny Johnson.
3rd down. The Bears are 1 of 3 so far in this department. As we are still early in the 2nd quarter, out of the shotgun. Let's see what they do here from midfield. McKinnon in motion. Blitz. He's got time. And he underthrows Willie Galt. And McMahon is upset with himself. A flag down back at the line of scrimmage. McMahon just flat out underthrew that. And you could see a gesture of disgust on his part. And meanwhile, a penalty against the Bears. See if the Rams decline because the incompletion brings up 4th down.
It looked like he threw that pass sidearm, didn't it? Didn't get enough mustard on it.
Number 84. Klein. 4th down.
Baschnagel was called for offensive pass interference, pushing off somebody heading downfield into the pattern. The Rams decline, and Parsons comes in to punt. Johnny Johnson and Henry Ellard are the deep men standing at the 10-yard line. Well spread apart, as you can see, trying to protect those corners. Parsons, excellent from this position, is dropping the ball in deep.
Parsons has the option to run if he sees an opening.
Long count, so he may be considering something. The punt is coming down at the 15. A fair catch signaled by Johnson. And he and Ellard both appear to be going for that football, but they make the catch, and it'll be 1st down for the Rams at the 15-yard line. A 35-yard punt by Parsons. So the Rams in this scoreless football game will try and move it from their own end of the field at the 15 when we return. Guys and Walter Payton at Anaheim Stadium. Payton waiting to get back out there.
And he has now gone ahead of O.J. Simpson in total yardage, 2nd on the all-time list with over 14,375 yards.
It is 1st down, Rams from the 15-yard line. Dickerson is dropped again by Mike Hartenstein, and so far the Bears have done a fine job containing Dickerson. Wilson in on the tackle with Hartenstein, and a gain of maybe a yard. 2nd and 9.
Well, that's one thing. When you have one single back, those linebackers and everybody else goes where he goes. Number 29, Dickerson can't find a hole. Mike Hartenstein with the tackle. So far, they're continuing to pitch out right, pitch out left as the Bears are turning it in, getting good support, and they're playing Dickerson. The Rams, I don't know how long they'll stick with this, but eventually they got to hit him somewhere else to keep him honest.
A lot of white shirts around the football there. The Bears have played excellent defense thus far. Dickerson slips this time. He had nowhere to go. He tried to take it back the other way, and when he slipped, there were 4 white shirts on him immediately. Wilson and Singletary, the first 2 to put the hands on him, and it'll be a loss of about 2 yards on the play. So aggressive gang tackling. Al Harris telling us last night, he said, that's what we've got to do. We got to do it early. We have to show them that even though we're banged up, we've got guys out of position, that we're going to play aggressive defense. And Buddy Ryan, the defensive boss, obviously has these fellows well prepared, and most importantly, off what we've seen so far, he's got them fired up. There you see Dan Rain standing beside him, number 53, and out of uniform because of injury, wearing a jersey. Completed pass off the right side, a flag down. Farmer made the catch for 1st down yardage. Number 84, George Farmer, the 2nd-year man from Southern. Let's see who the infraction is against, because the Rams had 1st down yardage. Looks like they're going to take it back. It is offensive pass interference. So we've had 2 of those calls in the last couple of minutes. One against Baschnagel of the Bears, and one here against the Rams. Chuck Herberling will Tell us who? John Robinson, former USC coach. Vince Evans was his first quarterback back in 1976. The Bears quarterback, who is now the number 2, at least for today.
Well, number 2 this week. He was the most valuable player in the Rose Bowl back there in '77, and had himself a great year in college. And Vince Evans has got to be a little bit upset as they go back and forth. Vince Evans said he hopes, whether it's him or not, he'd like to see Mike Dick to decide on one quarterback and go with him, you know.
Pass interference. Offense. Number 86. Third down.
Mike Barber, the tight end, called for offensive pass interference. It brings up third down back at the 8-yard line. Miami and San Francisco in the second period. 2 of the good football teams in the league, tied at 7. Seattle over Denver, 6-3. We'll be tracking that 49er score for you, obviously, as it affects the Rams. Third down, Farmer in motion, a pitch to Dickerson. Dickerson cannot get running room again. Superb defensive play out the left side, and while he didn't make the tackle, it was Al Harris who forced the play, and it wound up being Keys and Wilson who got a clear path to make the hit on the rookie Dickerson. This young man's playing well.
He certainly is, and the key is that they're turning him inside and they're getting good support from inside. Watch number 50, Singletary. Now you see Harris strings it out to try and force him in. Then you'll see Otis Wilson and Singletary, everybody from the inside of the field. So that's the game plan on defense.
Misko, his view of the punting situation, and the Bears in deep here with Misko in the end zone will probably try to get a good rush on him. He's standing a yard deep. Here they come, and he just got it away. Dunsmore was in close on him. McKinnon fair catches at the 48-yard line of the Chicago Bears, and they had a good rush and a near block.
That was a heck of a punt under the circumstances. He was under pressure, and it looks like there might have been a penalty.
Yes, the preliminary signal is that they had somebody downfield a little early. A 38-yard punt for Misko. Let's see what the Bears do here. They have the ball almost at midfield if they decline. But they nearly had a block. Maybe they say, hey, next time we might be able to get him.
Or they could have him punt from deep in his end zone.
Yeah.
But I think they're going to just take the ball and say, we got it. We want no fumbles.
Ineligible man downfield on the punt. Number 59, offense. Decline. First down.
So the Bears do decline, and they have excellent field position at their own 49. Mark Giroux, reserve linebacker, was the overeager special teams player. And so the Bears will start from near midfield. When we return to Anaheim, we're still scoreless in the second period, 8:26 to go. 2 electrifying running backs have not gotten themselves plugged in against tough defenses today. Payton has rushed 6 times for 30 yards. That's a pretty good average, obviously. Dickerson, on the other hand, 13 carries for only 37 yards. The Bears have shut him down so far. In his last 5 carries, Dickerson has only picked up 7 yards. Bears first down. McMahon is 4 out of 7 passes. Gives it to Payton. Payton picks up another 5 to stay at his average for today to the 45-yard line. And now for an NFL Today report. Let's find out what else is going on with Brent Musburger in New York.
Tim, you were talking about Eric Dickerson. Well, John Riggins is chasing him now in the touchdown race. Here is number 13 for the season, 2 behind Dickerson. The Redskins over the Cardinals by 14. Let's go back to Tim and Johnny.
All right, Brent, the Bears have a second and a long 4 from the 45-yard line of the Los Angeles Rams. Scoreless football game here in Anaheim. Time winding down in the first half, 7:45 to play. And a collision between Payton and McMahon, a loose football that appears to have been recovered by the Rams, but let's wait and see. A little miscue and a misplay in the backfield. Payton and McMahon colliding on the handoff, and it is Rams ball. So the first turnover of the day goes to the Los Angeles Rams, and they have it at the 48-yard line of L.A.
And it was Charles DeJournay, number 70, who busted through there to kind of mess things up. Watch 70 as he gets by Hilgenberg and comes across there as they get bumped on their exchange, and DeJournay kind of jerked the ball loose and jerked Payton back and Hilgenberg, and the ball got loose, and there you see the scramble. But they had a little mix-up on the handoff.
And DeJournay came up with the football for the Rams. Well, let's see what Los Angeles can do to capitalize. We'll be right back. First down for the Los Angeles Rams from their own 48-yard line. And the fumble recovery has been credited to Carl Eckern, number 55. The ball had been knocked loose by Charles Dejournay. And Walter Payton. First turnover goes to the Rams. Single back is Dickerson. In motion is David Hill, a former Lion. And Dickerson trying inside, and he is met by Todd Bell, the safety coming up. And a few boos from the crowd here as they are not happy with the Rams' offensive performance. And they have just had all kinds of problems running the football against the Bears defense.
Well, they can't figure out which defense the Bears are going to be in. A lot of times they run their fabled 46 and they run their 34 and they run everything else. They have a 43 swim that they use. That's their designation for the 3 linebackers inside. And so far they're confusing the Rams well.
Well, they've got Keys on the left side this time, and they've got Harris on the left side. Sheeran is in for Doug Smith. Center, the pass off the left side to Preston Denard is complete to the 45-yard line. Leslie Frazier on the coverage. And a pickup of about 7 yards on the play. It'll bring up a 3rd and 2 for Los Angeles.
Down and out. As they go to the air, they may have to do more of this to kind of neutralize the Bears defending Dickerson, and Frazier on the coverage there. So now we have a key play. 3rd and about 2.5.
Rams are 3 of 7 in this department so far in the first half. Dickerson, and it'll be close to the first down. As again, the Bears with good pursuit on Dickerson. Keys was there, along with the linebacker Singletary. And it appears from our angle to be just short, and they'll measure.
It is short, I believe, almost a yard.
Tyrone Keys and Al Harris certainly have been 2 key components here today defensively for the Chicago Bears, forced to make changes because of injuries. Hampton is out. Fensick, Fisher playing that safety spotter out. Raines, Campbell, Cabral all hurt. And they stopped it.
Well, John Robinson gets the raspberries from the fans here in Los Angeles as the Rams go into a punt formation. But I'm sure the Bears are going to be a little bit leery.
Misko, the punter, number 6, is standing at his 42-yard line. McKinnon back at the Bears' 10. And Misko looking over to the Rams sideline, wanting to make sure that he's got things set up the way John Robinson and the special teams coach want them. And angles for the far corner, and it is taken by McKinnon. He dropped the ball and now picks up a couple before he is stopped by Doug Barnett, number 96. So Chicago will be starting from deep in their own end. The ball will be spotted at the 12-yard line. A 34-yard punt for Misko. And we'll be back at Anaheim to see what the Bears can do offensively.
Nolan Cromwell of the Law.
The preceding message was brought to you by the National Football League. Tim Ryan with Johnny Morris. We are back in sunny California, and temperatures in the 70s today at Anaheim Stadium. 6:32 remaining in the first half. Injury report on Doug Smith, the center for the Los Angeles Rams. A dislocation of his index finger, and he's going to be x-rayed. Joe Sheeran, who backs up at center and guard, a first-year man from Texas off injured reserve a year ago, has come in to replace him. And that could be a key loss. Smith, the anchor of a good Rams offensive line. Looks like there's some Bears fans here. They've seen a number of banners actually around the stadium. There's Sheeran, who will be in the next offensive series. Meanwhile, the Bears on first down give it to Suhey. Suhey is hit immediately and barely got to the line of scrimmage. There'll be no gain on that play as that entire front of the Rams defensively got involved. Reggie Doss and the linebacker Eckern, and Greg Meissner is in on the nose now, number 69. John Robinson.
If somebody had told me this would be a nothing game going into almost halftime, I'd have said that they're off their rocker.
That's
I
right.
expected some scoring.
Exactly, and of course the Bears, despite their problems in the win-loss column, have averaged nearly 400 yards a game of offense. Defensively, they've been superb today, and the Rams have stopped the Bears. 2nd a sack. Youngblood getting Jim McMahon at the 3-yard line. And again, good coverage downfield and good, quick off the line rushing from Jack Youngblood, the veteran.
Well, they had Suhey in motion. He was looking for Suhey over short, but he was well covered as he tried to sneak through. And you'll see Youngblood just comes right up as they did a little twist, and McMahon wisely ate the ball because Suhey was well covered. You just have to give some credit to the Ram defense. They haven't had many sacks lately as he came to the inside. They must have fooled the Bears left side of their offensive line.
They haven't had a sack in the last couple of games, and Mike Ditka is unhappy with the pass blocking on that play, or perhaps the routes run by the receiver. He's unhappy, that's clear. Third down from the 3-yard line, 3rd and long, and Suhey digs out for a couple over the 5 to the 7, where Youngblood again makes the tackle. I'm talking to Youngblood about this Rams defense, a new system. He didn't want to play a 3-4. He's played a 4-3 in all of his 13 years, and it's been a technical change for him. He's going more to his right. But he said he respected John Robinson, who sat him down and told him it was going to be a new time for him, a new style. And now, 9 games later, he's very happy, both with his own play and with Robinson.
His arms are kind of skinny, though, aren't they?
Boy, he is something, that guy. All right, from the end zone, Parsons will try to punt it out cleanly. Johnny Johnson is the deep man. There's Parsons' view of the action in front of him. Not much of a rush. Parsons gets a short punt and taken on the fly by Johnson. And he dropped the ball, but it's out of bounds. What a break for the Rams. Johnson was hit by Richard Dent. He dropped the ball, but the ball went out of bounds. And the Rams will have excellent field position at the 31-yard line of Chicago. Just a 33-yard punt by Parsons and a 9-yard return. So the Rams have their best opportunity of the football game here. First down from the Chicago 31.
Here comes the hit by Dent as Johnson tries to squeeze out. He does lose control, but the Bears have to get control before it goes out of bounds before they can.
My goodness. I tell you, they had a chance there. I think that was Hutchison, who didn't realize the ball was loose. It looked like he had a chance to recover it, but instead he was playing the player, didn't see the ball. All right, first down, Rams. Pressure on Ferragamo, incomplete. And it was Steve McMichael, number 76, who nearly had the sack. McMichael playing for the injured Dan Hampton, who's out after knee surgery. Arthroscopic in nature. McMichael has been a good aggressive replacement for Hampton, the All-Pro. 2nd and 10, Rams. Harris is out on the left side. They've had him on both sides. They've had Tyrone Keys at both left defensive end and right defensive end. 2nd and 10 for the Rams. Remember, they've got Joe Sheeran in at center. They flare it out for Denard. Good blocking on the corner for Denard. A diving tackle by Dickerson, or he may have had enough room down the sideline to get to the end zone. Good play by the Rams. Good tackle by Dickerson.
And give some credit to Kent Hill, number 72. He gets out there in a hurry as that's a quick screen out there to the receiver, and you'll see 72 take Frazier, number 21, right down the field. There's no way Frazier can get by him, and Denard is finally brought down, but not before they get within a half a yard of first down.
Rams are 3 of 8 converting on 3rd downs. They got a pretty good chance here because it's less than a yard at the Bears' 22-yard line. No score in the football game. 4:08 remaining first half. Dickerson sidesteps a tackle and then is stopped just over the 20, but he has a first down. One of the officials was hit on the play, a little shot in the face. And pick up his number for you. He's getting a little attention from one of his colleagues.
You know, the Bears actually had that one stopped too. Singletary came right into the hole, would have had Dickerson for a loss. So the play was well defense, but Dickerson just did a great effort of sidestepping Singletary to get the first down. As you can take a look at the officials, the one that is shaken up a little bit, I'm not sure, it's number 89.
89 on your program is Gordon Wells, the umpire. And
he's got a smile on his face. He's okay. He counted to 10.
It only hurts when I smile. Well, we're glad that he's not injured.
That's the Bear team position. Dr. Fossier and the trainer Freddie Cato out there to make sure that he's okay.
Do you suppose there's a race by each team to see who can get their doctor out to look after an official. That's good public relations, I'd say, on the part of the Chicago Bears. They beat the Rams training staff out there. All right, first down for the Los Angeles Rams at the 19-yard line. And they are threatening, and really the first threatening situation by either team in this first half. 3:46 and counting. David Hill is set up on the wing right. Dickerson, the lone running back. Farmer in motion. Pitch out Dickerson. He's got blocking this time. Tries to turn it up and does. And gets to the 12-yard line. Singletary made the tackle. Barber and Hill, a pair of tight ends, use their brute strength to back up the Bear defenders. A gain of 7 on the play.
Yes, that was a good play as they strung the Bear defense out, and the pursuit from the inside was a little late getting there, contrary to what's happened previously in this game, as Singletary was late because Dickerson got himself down the field. Dickerson now 17 rushes for 50 yards. And this may be one of his tougher games so far. Welcome to the NFL, right?
Yes, indeed. He had a tough first quarter. Getting a little bit more mileage in the second period. Of course, if he can double that, he'll have another 100-yard day. He's had 5 out of the last 6. Pitch out to Dickerson. Stopped at the 10-yard line. Knocked his helmet off that time. Dave Dewerson was there, and Singletary, who's usually around that football. He's got to be a tired man at the end of a game. Singletary runs to the left sideline, to the right sideline, drops back on the pass. Just one of the more active linebackers in the NFL.
For a middle linebacker, if you can say middle linebacker in the NFL anymore, he's got real good quickness and speed and good mobility from sideline to sideline.
He's getting that signal in right now.
That's right. Gives it to the rest of the players, and when you stop to think you have 3 players playing out of position from what they normally do, the Bear defense has done a pretty good job.
James McDonald, number 83, a rookie tight end, has come in to join David Hill and Mike Barber. 3rd and a yard, and they may have used it up. They use up the 30-second clock? No. Oh, 2-minute warning has sounded. They didn't get the play off. And so they'll do it over again when we return with 3rd and 1 at the 10-yard line. A big play coming up for both teams in this scoreless football game at the 2-minute warning here in the first half at Anaheim Stadium. We'll be back. 2 minutes remaining in the first half. 3rd and 1. Rams threatening at the Bears' 10-yard line. And in defensively comes rookie Richard Dent for the Bears, number 95 from Tennessee State. A little more added bulk on the front line. There are 3 tight ends in. There were for the Los Angeles Rams, but now they've taken Barber out. They've got 2 in. Well, they still have them. Okay. 3rd and a long yard. They go to Dickerson, and he's got the yard and then some. But they stopped at the 7-yard line by a swarm of tacklers led by Leslie Frazier and Mike Singletary. But it will be 1st and goal for the Los Angeles Rams at the Bears 7.
Well, they went to the outside. Of course, the Bears expected them to go right up the middle that time or off the guard, and they took the pitch, went to the outside, and that's the weakest part of the defense when you're playing a short yardage situation.
Coming up at halftime, as we are under the 2-minute mark here at Anaheim, the NFL Today will have Brent Nur bringing you all the scores and highlights. Of course, a lot of finals in. You'll get caught right up to date.
Well, let's see if they pitch it. Let's see if they pitch it left.
1st and goal. They have a slot left, and now they take Foreman out of the slot. They pitch it right. Dickerson. Touchdown. Kept pounding and pounding away with Eric Dickerson, who had gone over the 50-yard mark just a couple of plays back. And John Robinson, who, as you said earlier, said we got to stay with what we think we can do best, and we'll just stay with it till we make something happen. And he made it happen before Mike Ditka and the Bears did.
That's right. They it looked like a pitch left, but they ran the man in motion back to the right side, and it set up beautifully. And John Robinson has stuck to his game plan. Pitch right, pitch left.
This is Chuck Nelson, the number 4 pick out of Washington, who will attempt the point after. He's got it. So the Los Angeles Rams with 1:06 remaining in the first half, have opened the scoring. This young man, 16th touchdown of the season.
And you can see the man in motion. You see Dennis Hara, number 60. He pulls out and throws a key block, and there's David Hill on the block onto the outside on Richardson, and there was no pursuit from the inside. Now from the front of the offense, you're going to get a good close-up look at it. All you see is a bunch of bodies, but once you see Dickerson turn up the field, and that's it. Touchdown, Los Angeles.
31 yards in 7 plays. They used up 3:12 on the clock. 7-yard touchdown run for Dickerson, who's now got 62 yards on 20 carries in this first half. So while the Bears had him in control through the first quarter, they just kept pounding away with him. He's carried the ball 20 times. He could have a 40-carry day. They make him earn his money. Well, you can see there are some Bears fans and some Papa Bear fans here in Anaheim Stadium. When you come to California, there are people from all over the country, so it's not unusual. It's just on this day, very, very nice to see some recognition for the late, great George Halas.
Do you think John Robinson made a smart move when he traded up one notch in the draft so he could get Dickerson?
Boy, what a dandy. And then, you know, he's shown a lot of guts. He traded away Wendell Tyler, a proven pro. He traded away his starting cornerbacks, Perry and Thomas. He's molding this team the way he wants. There's Dennis McKinnon, the deep man at the goal line. So you see that scoring drive of 31 yards in 7 plays. Nelson's kickoff, kind of a line drive, bounces right to McKinnon at the 5. McKinnon, a good open field tackle by Carson, is stopped at the 20-yard line. Howard Carson, number 54. Don't forget, CBS Sports Saturday returns next weekend with an exciting show. You'll see the 70th running of the Remsen Stakes from Aqueduct in New York. Devil's Bag is the favorite in that race, no surprise. Reigning world figure skating champions Scott Hamilton and Rosalind Sumners will give a special freestyle performance, and John Madden hits the road again and talks to some former NFL players who are coping with physical problems caused by their pro football careers. All next weekend, 4 o'clock Eastern Time. First down for the Chicago Bears with 1:01 remaining first half. Behind the shotgun. The 1-minute drill is in effect here. Sideline complete. Dennis McKinnon, a flag down. McKinnon short of the first down at the 30-yard line. Johnny Johnson trying to pull him inbounds, unable to do so. Flag was down on the other side of the field, so we'll see what
it's against Chicago. Offensive pass interference. So they're getting a receiver for pushing off.
That's the 3rd offensive pass interference call we've seen, which is a little bit unusual, I think, in one half.
Well, they're fronting. When you front somebody and all of a sudden an offensive receiver, somebody in front of you, your natural instinct is to get away from him. It's a terrible penalty. They should never call offensive pass interference.
I loved your conversation with Willie Gault about wide receivers yesterday, Johnny.
That's interference. Offense, number 86. First down.
Well, it was called against Bob Parsons, who I don't think was on the field. Offensive pass interference. He used to be a tight end.
He gave us the wrong number.
Gary Jeter has come in defensively, number 77, the former Giant out of USC, replacing Meisner on the nose. 1st and 20. McMahon pumps once. Jeter has him. He gets it off to Suhey. He's hit immediately and still struggling, but finally knocked down. McMahon took quite a shot. Carl Eckert made the tackle on Suhey, and the gain on the play turned out to be about 3 yards.
That was a left-handed pass. He switched that ball and threw it on his way down. What a play by McMahon.
You know, I didn't even notice that, Johnny.
Yeah.
You're sharp-eyed to pick it up. McMahon under pressure. There's another one.
Oh, he's 1 for 2 this year, left-handed.
But he really had the heat on that time. Down to 19 seconds. Gary Jeter and Reggie Doss barreling in on him. There's Doss, number 71.
Well, they're just teeing off as they know the Bears are in a passing situation, and they're going to not worry about the draw or anything else that could keep them honest in this kind of a situation. It's 19 seconds remaining.
I tried to talk to Gary Jeter about the Rams pass rush at practice the other day. All he wanted to talk about was the Hagler-Durand fight. He's a real boxing fan. 3rd down and 16. 19 seconds left in the half. McMahon man rolling this time. Now he's trying to get somebody deep, but goes short. It's intercepted. Number 50, Jim Collins, brings it into the 21-yard line, and there are 8 seconds left. The Rams have got time to make something happen here. That was not a good pass.
I don't think he even saw Collins.
Looked like to me as though he was waiting for Galt to clear deep, and then kind of gave up on that play. You can see him looking downfield here and wound up throwing it short.
He has no pressure on him. Actually had plenty of blockers out there, but he did not spot. I think they're down to a situation where at the 21-yard line that they'll try one play and then go for the field goal. They have 2 timeouts left. One quick play.
Collins' first interception, and he returned it 17 yards to the 21-yard line as McMahon tried to get it to the tight end Dunsmore, number 88. Not see Collins, and Collins comes up with the ball for the Rams, who are now in scoring position again, but of course have only 8 seconds to accomplish it. Deep drop for Ferragamo. Good coverage deep. Throws to the end zone anyway, and it is touchdown, Preston Denard. Leslie Frazier on the coverage, and Preston Denard made a diving grab of the deflected ball.
I'm not so sure he caught that ball.
I am not either, Johnny, and I'm not sure that the official was in the best position to see it. Hopefully we've got a
look at this.
A replay. Well, that's what you call a team spike or whatever.
The ball, Frazier went up with him, and Denard did a super job of going back to the ball, but it looked to me that he trapped it on the turf, and maybe we'll get a better look at it. But anyway, if he did catch it, it was a super one.
Yes, indeed. With 8 seconds left, it's on the scoreboard. Nelson in for the point after. So they turned the turnover into a score. The Los Angeles Rams opportunistic here in the final seconds of the half. It is good. 14-0 for the Rams. Let's see what we can see on the replay. But all credit to Denard, whether or not he trapped it. He made a great play.
Okay, now here Ferragamo gets plenty of time because he wants to go to the right, has time to throw it, and he just throws it down the field, and you'll get a look at Frazier, who's on the coverage. We're not going to be able to see from this angle, I can tell, but he goes back. From that angle, it appears that he did catch the ball, but we can't tell. We're going to look at it at another angle and see if we can determine whether he caught the ball. There it appears that he did.
Well, the only problem with that, and he got the ball account, but you can see the official was still coming downfield trying to get a view of that. I don't believe he had a good view.
Well, the Bears got themselves into a situation, which we'll talk about later, throwing with 19 seconds to go down deep.
Credit to the Rams. That's the end of the first half. Rams 14, Bears nothing. Jim Ryan and Johnny Morris, we are back ready for the second half kickoff with the Los Angeles Rams leading the Bears 14-0. And of course the Rams trying to get to 6-4 with a victory today. New Orleans is at 6-4 on the Western Division of the NFC, defeating Atlanta earlier today. The Falcons falling to 4-6. And San Francisco 6-3 atop the division in the NFC West. San Francisco at home to Miami. We'll keep track of that one for you. McKinnon, number 85, the deep man for the Chicago Bears. Matt Suhey is there along with Hutchison, the up men at the 5. Nelson will kick it off for the Rams. We're underway with the second half of play. McKinnon from the 6. Got some running room over the 30-yard line. Good blocking up the middle. Mark Giroux stopped them there. Chicago starts first down from their own 31. A 25-yard return for McKinnon. And as you can see, the Bears with only 3 first downs in the first half. 56 yards on the ground. 71 yards rushing for the Rams as the Bears defense Eric Dickerson extremely well. But the 2 turnovers hurt. The second one, the interception by Collins, leading to the last second touchdown by Denard.
Walter Payton is only 9 yards from breaking the 11,000-yard mark for his career.
Calvin Thomas is in at fullback as the lead back, number 33 for Chicago. trying the short side. And he is cut off at the pass there by the Rams pursuit. Johnny Johnson, the cornerback, the linebacker, Mel Owens. Pick up maybe 2 on the play. 2nd and 8. Walter Payton.
The Bears had plans of a control game, short precision type passing. They threw a couple early in the game, but other than that, they really haven't done too much of that, Tim. The quick drop passes, because 2 teams that have played the Rams previously didn't have any sacks against them. It's because they threw a lot of precision passes so the pass rush couldn't get to them. The Bears haven't done that too much.
Dalton motion behind the ball. Play action. McMahon away from Youngblood, just gets it away, and it is incomplete, intended for Moorhead, the tight end. And from the backside, Collins had the heat on McMahon. He threw that just a hair earlier than he wanted to lead Moorhead.
This is the kind of action I'm talking about, what they're doing. Here's the fake of the handoff to Walter, rolled out, but the Youngblood forced McMahon in, and they had pressure on him, and that has a tendency to make a pass not be quite so accurate. And when you have guys like Willie Galt and McKinnon, both good wide receivers, get that ball to them in a hurry. They'll do things for you.
3rd and 9. Dashnagel is out to the left. Willie Galt out to the right. Moorhead sets up on the wing left as they're in the shotgun. You saw a somewhat impatient-looking Mike Dipchip said, we've got to make something happen here early. McMahon under pressure is sacked by Gary Jeter, number 77. Dropped back at the 20-yard line. Gary Jeter acquired from the New York Giants.
Let's take a look at the center, Jay Hilgenberg and Kurt Becker blocking on the inside. Jeter gets away from Hilgenberg and then comes in and makes the sack as the Ram defensive line is starting to out-muscle the Bears.
Parsons standing at his 7. He'll hit it from the 13. Johnny Johnson, a flag down. Johnson has it at the 40 and is forced out of bounds at the 49-yard line by Pat Dunsmore, but a flag down on the play. See what the call is, a 38-yard punt and a 10-yard return. Rams will take over, and we are told Doug Smith will not return. He does have a broken bone in the ring finger of his right hand, so he couldn't snap the ball, of course. Holding is signaled against the Rams. Doug Smith's place will be taken by Joe Sheeran, effectively a rookie. Last year was a 7th-round pick out of Texas and was on injured reserve. So let's see how Sheeran does in the middle of that Rams offensive line in the second half. They mark it back at the 39.
Holding number 26 on a receiving team during the run back. First down.
Well, next Sunday, NFL action on CBS Sports. Many of you will see a doubleheader, and most of you will see the Green Bay Packers against the Vikings. Big game in the Central. Some of you will see the Eagles against the Bears, or Tampa Bay against the Cleveland Browns. Our late game will feature the Dallas Cowboys against the Chargers, or the Redskins against the New York Giants, all starting with the NFL today at 12:30 Eastern Time. Check the local listing. Deep drop for Ferragamo on first down. He hits Guman out of the backfield. Singletary puts the hit on him, but the Rams pick up about 7 yards to the 46-yard line of Los Angeles. Mike Guman, a 4-year man out of Penn State, is a handy guy. Can catch it, run it, block. Let's go to Brent Musburger for an NFL report.
Tim, an unbelievable interception results in a Washington touchdown. Watch Curtis Jordan deflect the pass by Neil Lomax, keeps the ball in play somehow. Mel Kaufman will pick it up before it hits the ground. He'll go 70 yards. Let's go back to Tim Ryan.
All right, Brent. What a big play by the Redskins. This is Eric Dickerson cutting it back. What a move. Dickerson inside the 45 on a couple of nifty moves. Got through David Simmons and was stopped by Steve McMichael. First down, Rams.
Yes, it was David Simmons who got the handle on him, and he came back, and if he'd have stuck, I think, to the sidelines, he might have had a big gain. Watch this now as he cuts back, and you're going to see Ferragamo throw a block, number 15. But there, Richardson forced him back to the inside. It was a nice move, but he had some room to the outside, but good running by Eric Dickerson. You can't take it away from him.
11-yard gain for Dickerson. Simmons in on that 3-4, the reserve linebacker for the Bears from North Carolina. That was Barry Redden, number 30. Redden picked up only about a yard against the middle of the Bears defense. Singletary and Wilson made the stop on him, and we are told that Al Harris, who had a fine first half playing at linebacker for the injured Dan Raines, suffered a sprained foot, and so Simmons is in his spot at the linebacker position. They do have 4 down linemen in, with Simmons now lined up on the left side. 2nd and nearly 10. Ferragamo runs out of time. McMichael sacks him back to the 48-yard line of Los Angeles. Steve McMichael, number 76. 9-yard loss.
And he came right over Kent Hill, number 72. You'll see number 76 rushing. You'll see number 72 trying to block on him right there at the left of your screen. And he comes right over, gets by Kent Hill, and puts the sack on Steve McMichael.
There's McMichael on 3rd down and about 19. There you see Al Harris, number 90, and in the foreground on the left of your screen, wearing his jersey but not football pants or helmet, is Dan Raines, out with an injury. Ferragamo has time and goes deep. Knocked away beautifully by Richardson. And the intended receiver was Gordon Jones, the former Tampa Bay Buccaneer. Richardson was with him step for step and perfectly timed knockdown.
There's Gordon Jones. I would have to say that this pass was perfect, but so was Mike Richardson, number 27. They both look up for the ball. Up he goes, bats it away. What a super play by Richardson, because that ball was right there.
He's just getting better and better every week in that left corner spot. Misko in to punt for the Rams. He is number 6 at the 35. Now the Rams bring everybody in tight. They had their outside men strung out wide, and they've changed their formation. They're using up a little time, down to 5 seconds. They get it off. Oh, coming, and it's blocked. And I believe it was Richardson. Mike Richardson with the block. A big play by the Bears. They have not been a big play team this season. And they get one here, and they have the football at the 36-yard line of Los Angeles.
And there's no way that should have happened to the Bears, to the Rams, I should say, because they went into a tight formation. They had all their blockers in there, and here comes Richardson. He got inside the outside blocker, comes across the front of the punter, blocks the ball, and the Chicago Bears recover. Good play, 2 good plays in a row by young Mr. Richardson.
Mike Richardson, the rookie from Arizona State, number 3 choice, was handed the cornerback job, lost it for a couple of games, and has it back. McMahon on 1st down. He's got Galt in the end zone. It's incomplete. On the coverage was number 26, Eric Harris, who got a hand on the ball to knock it away. Harris playing on the right corner in Leroy Irvin's spot. Irvin out with an injury.
Well, they finally went to Galt down the field. He had a step, but the pass is short. He has to come back for it, and that really saved Harris. Galt had himself a touchdown, but McMahon wasn't able to get enough mustard on it, and Harris had a chance to recover and knock the ball away. But you could see that Willie Galt almost, or in fact did outrun the pass.
2nd and 10. Suhey and Payton in the backfield. Solly in motion off the wing. Payton up the middle, cuts it outside, and good tackling by the Rams. Jim Collins, number 50, playing with a very sore shoulder. Right there with him, number 58, Mel Owens.
He sure is. Every time he hits with his left shoulder, he gets a tremendous nerve pain, and it goes all the way down his arm, and he has to come out of the game. So he's trying to tackle with the right shoulder. Can you imagine playing in the NFL and trying to play under those circumstances? He's a tough guy.
Jim Collins, a 3rd-year man from Syracuse. They've got good, tough, active linebackers. Seems to be the key position in the NFL these days. So many teams have outstanding athletes. It's become the critical position defensively. 3rd down and 9. Big play for the Bears here. They've got to make it happen. McMahon under pressure, and he overthrows Suhey. So they didn't make it happen, and it's 4th down. McMahon is 1 out of 8. The last 8 passes. So he hasn't been able to get it clicking.
Andy Frederick is in at the right tackle spot. Van Horn may have gotten hurt, but number 71, Andrew Frederick, was in there on that play. As Nolan Cromwell had good coverage on that play, McMahon had no chance to complete it to Suhey.
4th down, Parsons standing near midfield. Rams have got their man up at the 10-yard line fairly shallow, and Parsons is real good at dropping it in the corner. Let's see what happens here. And that goes out of bounds inside the 10, I believe. They're going to mark it. Well, he's still coming up. Not sure where they're going to mark it. At the 12.
That's another $100 donated to the March of Dimes. Bob Parsons donates $100 every time he punts one inside the 20. So I think that's a pretty good gesture, don't you?
Darn right it is. And a good punt. We'll be right back. East camera crew. Rams have the lead in the ball, 14-0 at Anaheim Stadium on a beautiful afternoon in California. First down from the 12-yard line following Parsons' excellent punt. Vince Ferragamo brings him out. He is 8 of 16, just 73 yards. But it's been enough, and Denard drops that one. He heard a little footsteps from Frazier, number 21. Now for another NFL Today report, let's go to Brent Musburger in New York.
Tim, the Cardinals finally get on the board against the Washington Redskins. Neil Lomax out of the shotgun. He'll get Roy Green open. After misfiring 7 straight times, he completes 1 for a touchdown. 24-7, back to Tim.
We've got 10:18 remaining in the 3rd quarter here in Anaheim. 2nd and 10 for Los Angeles. Out to the left comes Preston Denard. Out to the right, George Farmer. Ferragamo. Gives it to Dickerson, and the Bears do a fine job. Mike Hartenstein just backed up the blocker on him right into the traffic. And McMichael and Keys finished it off, but Hartenstein did a job on Dennis Hara.
Actually, accidentally, because Dennis Hara, number 60, watch him plow into Hartenstein, number 73. Here comes Hara, 60. Boom! He just lowers the boom, but it turns out that he got his leg out there, and Hartenstein gets credit for the tackle.
Good job, and it is 3rd and 12 for the Los Angeles Rams. Certainly been very basic offensively. Ferragamo near the goal line. Lots of time. Gets it off to Barber, who is tackled, I believe, short of the first down. Otis Wilson, number 55, made the hit on the tight end. And yes, it will be a couple of yards short. So the Rams will have to punt.
Did you believe the pass protection for Ferragamo on that one? He had all day to throw it as Barber came all the way across the field. And he was still open as Otis Wilson had to cover him man for man, but not enough for the first down.
John Misko gives you the punter's eye view, and he'll be standing at his 5-yard line.
Now here comes that shift again. They'll be looking for Richardson, number 27. They're not going to let him get through that slot again.
McKinnon waiting for it at the 38. Has time, gets a pretty good kick away. McKinnon from the 40. Good block from Den, and a good open field tackle by Carson. Howard Carson, who's been effective on the punting team of the Rams today. A 41-yard kick by Misko, a 7-yard return. Good field position for the Bears. Their own 46-yard line when we return with the Rams leading 14-0.
Last year, these two teams had 1,100 yards in offense against each other. The Bears have only 12 yards of total offense since the first quarter. 12 yards. McMahon is 5 of 13 for only 41 yards.
First down, Chicago at their own 46. And to Suhey. To the 50-yard line, they may spot it inside the 50 at the 49. They will, a gain of 5. That's Suhey out of Penn State, been a busy pass receiver, 24 coming into the game.
And that's what the Bears have to do in this game. McMahon drop back the 3-4 step, throw the quick pass, and they'll move right down the field. They've been faking draws and rolling out and that kind of thing. It hasn't worked against the Rams with that 3-4 defense, so maybe we'll see a little different type of strategy from the Bears.
Rams have had only 153 yards of offense, so this has been your basic defensive struggle. McKinnon out to the left. Ball to the right. short of the first down, near the 45-yard line of the Los Angeles Rams.
Okay, the pass out to Payton. You're going to get a good look at the slip here as he goes out on the safety valve, and Payton would have had the first down had he not slipped as he cut back on that regular surface. No artificial turf here in Los Angeles, or I should say Anaheim.
Bears are 1 out of 8 on third down conversion. Saldi in at tight end. Moorhead goes out. McKinnon in motion. A little razzle-dazzle roll to the left. They get it to Suhey. He's got some room. Good block by Saldi. And a first down inside the 20. Well executed, pretty play by the Chicago Bears. They'll spot it at the 19-yard line. Jim Collins made the tackle there.
A little fake of the draw action with McMahon rolling out, and Suhey, this is a situation a quarterback loves. McMahon can either run the ball here or he can throw to Suhey because they had him inside, outside, and then Jim Collins, if he hadn't made a diving tackle, number 50 here, Suhey would have gone almost to the goal line. So the Bears moving the ball.
28-yard pickup. Calvin Thomas in for Suhey. Number 33, the lead back in the eye. First down, Bears threatening for the first time in the game. Payton dives over the 15 to the 14-yard line. Good block by Calvin Thomas, the lead back.
Sure was, and he had to take on a pretty big man, too.
George Andrews, linebacker, number 52. One of those big outside guys, goes about 225. Second down and 6. And the Bears knocking on the door, finally, in this football game. 6:33 remaining in the third quarter. Their first serious threat.
Brian Bashniggle's at one of the wide receiver spots.
He comes in motion out of the slot. They give it to Moorhead on the reverse, and the Rams saw it all the way. That was Mel Owens, number 58, who just tracked that one and stayed on the case and dropped him for a loss.
Well, Mel Owens was on what you call a blitz, and he ran right into the play and chased it down. Watch him come from the left of your screen. He was coming in, and number 58 runs it down from behind. Down goes Moorhead. Good play by Mel Owens, and a call by the Rams that turned out to be golden. When they blitzed the outside linebacker, and it was a kind of a play that took a while to develop, so he was right on it.
David Lewis has come in at linebacker, and he'll be blitzing on this 3rd and 9. Shotgun. They give it to Payton, who's going to throw. Back to McMahon. McMahon is open. And there are Bears fans in the house.
Walter Payton is now 3 for 4 with 2 touchdowns, 3 touchdowns. Can you believe that? As a passer this year, the #1 rated passer in the NFL is Walter Payton. And I'll tell you, if Jim McMahon had dropped this pass, he'd have never lived it down. Plenty of activity. He has to throw all the way back, way off balance, and just let him perfectly. And there it is. McMahon cradled it in, and no spike. No spike from Jim McMahon. But they get the touchdown. Not the way you expect it, but they got it.
Bob Thomas in for the point after. A little razzle-dazzle and 2 big plays in the half by the Bears. And they're back in the football game. Thomas with a point after, and 5:27 still remaining in the third quarter. Walter Payton, his 3rd touchdown pass of the season to Jim McMahon. Some fun finally. Well, there's pass receiver par excellence, Jim McMahon.
Well, you got to remember, he was not a T-formation quarterback on that play, so a quarterback is eligible in that situation because technically he's not a quarterback, and they just forgot all about him once he handed off to Payton, and Payton went all the way over to the sidelines and threw the ball back. Jim McMahon was something to smile about.
Thomas will kick it off. High, short kickoff comes down as he's going to take the Bears back to the 2-yard line. It is Rams ball, but just barely. The Bears nearly had possession, but they could not get a hold of that loose ball. Kelvin Atkins, number 51, reserve linebacker, made a good try. The The ball went out of bounds, and the Rams retained possession.
Well, it was one of those passes you can't, one of those kicks you can't let a kickoff drop like that if possible. Now you'll see Atkins 51 comes on it right here after it's fumbled, and he has to recover before it gets out of bounds, and he's just a little bit late. So it is the Rams' ball, but they have terrible field position. Here's a look at the touchdown coming up once again.
There's the passer, quarterback on the play, Oliver Payton.
Well, we'll look at the touchdown after this next play.
All right, it is first down from the 2-yard line for the Los Angeles Rams. The lead now by just 7 points. Out of the end zone, a quick pass to Denard. He dropped the ball. Incomplete. Frazier on the cover. Now let's go back one more time and see that Payton to McMahon touchdown play.
Okay, McMahon out of the shotgun. He hands off. Watch McMahon. He's just watching the play, and then he delays taking off. Plenty of support out here, and nonchalant. McMahon is very casual as he catches that football. He says, I got it. Just takes it in.
Well, they fool everybody, and it's something that they've worked on. Waited for the right opportunity, and there it came. And Payton, look at that. 3 of 4 passes this year. 3 touchdowns. 2nd and 10 for the Rams. Out of the end zone, Dickerson had a good hold-off tackle. Gets out to the 7, maybe the 8-yard line. And it was Bell and Dickerson who made the stop. Alexander was the man on the kickoff situation, and a short kick, I think, somewhat of a surprise that it came down. And as you pointed out, Alexander should have really made the catch on that ball. But the ball bounced. He got a bare bounce off what looked like it was going to be not a good kickoff for Chicago. And it wound up at the 2-yard line and nearly in Chicago possession.
If the Rams don't get a first down here, the Bears are going to get the ball back in good field position.
3rd and 5. In motion behind the ball, Farmer. Pitch out Dickerson. Wilson in pursuit. Can't get him. He has a first down to the 15-yard line. Eric Dickerson showing a turn of speed on the corner. David Simmons, number 57, forced him out. Right now, let's go to Brent Musburger for an NFL Today report.
Tim, Joe Theismann has filed the Jim McMahon play. He's going to use it sometime before the season's over, but here's a more standard one. Theismann to Charlie Brown on the juggle. He's got it. That set up still another touchdown by John Riggins. It's 31-7 Washington. Back to Tim and Johnny.
I would think that Joe Theismann would love to get involved in a play like that. He's the kind of athlete who could accomplish it just as McMahon did. First down for the Rams. Dickerson, no, Redden, Barry Redden, number 30. Fine piece of running, squirting through out to the 25-yard line, close to the first down.
And what a block by the tight end, David Hill, number 81. He came through the hole and busted it wide open. You'll see 81 come into the picture, turn up the hole. There he is, 81. He meets Singletary, 50 right on the schnoz, and that allows Redden to break through and get some yards before Dave Dickerson, number 22, brings him down.
Redden, the number 1 choice last year out of Richmond, has to play in the shadow of this year's number 1 pick, Dickerson, as a measure. He had only 34 carries coming into the game, but he's been effective. 162 yards rushing on those 34 carries.
Just a little bit short. This is what the quarterback calls a free down. Now, when you have 2nd and a couple of inches to go, a lot of quarterbacks, a lot of coaches feel this is the down where you might be able to pull something off.
Yeah, I like to see that long pass in this circumstance. Adds a little entertainment. You gotta believe you can pick up a foot on 1st or 2nd down. 2nd or 3rd down, pardon me, but they've got about the length of the football to go here. See if they play it safe. They've still got Redden in there. Farmer, Grant, the wide receivers on the left side. And they give it to Redden, and he nearly got away from Singletary, who forced him out, but they have the first down. So the Rams, starting from their 2, have marched it out smartly to their own 28 where they can breathe. They lead 14-7 with 3:02 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Barry Redden. 11 first downs for the Rams now. The Bears with only 5. Dickerson back in at running back. And number 29.
John Robinson sure meant it when he said he was going to stick to the game plan.
Yes, he did.
Everything, most everything to the outside.
Well, he has an unsettled wide receiving corps because of injuries to Ellard, the rookie. And, he's just not real confident. Oh, there's Farmer getting loose. George Farmer. And it'll be Singletary forcing him out. But he got away from Richardson on the corner. Turned it upfield, and another big first down for the Rams into Bears territory at the 48, a 23-yard gain.
Mike Richardson showed some guts here. He went up with a short pass. He went for the interception. And Farmer got away and makes a big gain out of it as Cabral missed the tackle too, and there is Singletary knocking him out of bounds. Big play for the Rams, but it's a good sign. Mike Ditka, I'm sure, loves to see Richardson take his chances because good cornerbacks are guys who got some guts and will go for something. And while it wound up not being good for the Bears, it might be better in the long run as a football player for Richardson.
First down, Rams. Dickerson hit right at the line of scrimmage. Bears have got Brian Cabral in defensively, as you saw in that last replay. Hartenstein made the tackle. Cabral playing hurt. Of course, Al Harris, who started this game at linebacker, has not come back. So they've had to reshuffle the shuffle defensively. Cabral playing hurt.
Yeah, he's hurt. Of course, they've got Simmons and Atkins. These guys haven't played very much in Buddy Ryan's complicated defenses. So now Simmons comes back in and Cabral goes out.
David Simmons, picked up as a free agent from Baltimore, has just been on the special teams still today. 2nd and 9 for the Rams. Bernard in motion. Ferragamo back this way, complete. Mike Barber, the tight end, is a first down inside the 25-yard line. Tripped up by Leslie Frazier, number 21, a 22-yard gain.
The Rams starting to open up a bit with the little play-action fake to Dickerson, and Barber kind of delays and comes back against the grain, and Ferragamo spots him down the field, and this tight end has 38 catches going into this game. That's a lot of catches for a tight end on any football team. Mike Barber having his best season in the NFL so far.
Running hard, and he's got a hamstring pull, so he's having himself a fine game. His second catch for 32 yards and a big first down. They started at their 2-yard line. The Rams are now at the Bears 25. Pitch out Dickerson. Trying to get wide. Bell and Wilson combine to force him out. He picks up 4. They're at the 21 of Chicago. Once more, let's go to Brent Musburger for an NFL Today report.
Tim, several quarterback developments. Joe Theismann still driving the Washington Redskins. He hits Art Monk here that sets up a touchdown. Meanwhile, John Elway has replaced the injured Steve DeBerg out in Seattle. They still trail the Seahawks. Let's go back to Tim and Johnny.
Rams with a second down here, Brent, at the 22 is where they spotted it. Remember, this drive started back on their 2-yard line, and they really churned it out in a critical part of the game. They lead by 14-7. They could take a little heart out of the Bears if they could march it the distance for a score. Dickerson. Oh, he eluded 2 Bear tacklers. McMichael and Frazier both had a chance at him. Dickerson, with a nifty move, wound up at the 10-yard line. First down.
And you can see the whole side of the left side of the Ram offensive line out in front, standing up, screening, and then he cuts back, and McMichael thought sure he had him, number 76 and 21, and Dickerson is really good at that cutback. He has a knack of finding the crease, and that's what John Robinson said. He runs him as a single back. He wants his vision there. He says, I have my linemen stand up and screen people and block people one-on-one and let Dickerson find his way.
96 yards, 27 carries. He's earning a big contract. Play action, a quick flare out the right side. That is the rookie Ellard. The blockers could not quite get there fast enough in front of him to have that open up a whole lot, but they still picked up about 3.
You hit it right on the head. Dennis Hara, number 60, was trying to get out there. He was going full blast to get out there and help. Couldn't get there in time. That's a big task for those pulling guards to get out there 50
long
yards
way for them to run.
Oh, you bet.
In a hurry. Dennis Hara, running your man out of Miami.
Another one of those guys with skinny arms.
Yeah. Well, the gun is sounded ending the 3rd quarter of play with the Rams on the doorstep again. They'll have a second down at the 9-yard line. We now pause for a word from your local station.
Here.
and Johnny Morris back in Anaheim, where the shadows are lengthening over the field, and the Bears have a shadow lengthening over them. The Rams have pushed it from their own 2 to the 10-yard line. 2nd and 7. Dickerson away from one tackler. Stopped at the 6. Steve McMichael finally pulled him down, but Dickerson just finally wearing down that Bears defense. As he is around the 100-yard mark now.
He kind of looks like Chuck Muncie with those glasses that he has on, doesn't he?
Yeah, we asked him about those the other day. He said he tried contacts sometime back in his college career and didn't like them, and he says he has no problems with these with vision at all. He's right at the 100-yard mark. Very confident young man, but not in any way a braggart or a cocky guy. He's a very, very pleasant young man. And he's enjoying this rookie season. Trying to get wide. Dickerson, touchdown or not? No, by about 4 inches. He didn't quite get to that pylon.
But he did get the first down.
Yes, he did.
They disdained the pass and went with 3 runs with a 2nd and 7 situation, figuring Dickerson can do it. At the pitch out to the right, Otis Wilson, 55, is the one who breaks the block and has to put the last hit on him, along with Dave Dewerson, 22. And they just, well, that's close.
He sure tried to step it into the end zone. But it'll be 1st and goal from the 1-foot line. They've got Barber, Hill, and James McDonald, the rookie tight end, all in there to push it in.
You can't have drives much longer than this. It started on the 2.
Well, Dickerson is at the goal line, but no, yes it is, touchdown. A late signal from the officials, but Dickerson is in the end zone. And his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon, his 17th on the season. And the Los Angeles Rams march from their 2-yard line, grinding it out, staying with their game plan, and they've opened the lead to 20-7.
You know, he has a good chance to break Gale Sayers' rookie record of 22 touchdowns. I believe that was 1965 when Sayers did that, and the league record, I believe, was 23. O.J. Simpson, and he already has 17, and there'll still be, what, 6 games left to play?
Yeah, he's got some time left for sure.
What a super season he's having.
Chuck Nelson, number 13, for the point after. Dickerson has out first down the Bears, 9-5. And that is blocked. Oh, it's still good. But it's good. When you're hot, you're hot. Nelson says, all I know is it went over the crossbar. Ergo, it counts. Rams lead it, 21-7.
The square
Afternoon is 17th of the season, giving the Rams a 14-point margin again, 21-7. And his 17 touchdowns have tied him with Elroy Hirsch, who scored 17 in 12 games back in 1951, and Wendell Tyler in 1981, since traded to the 49ers to make room for Dickerson. That is Dennis Gentry. From the 4-yard line, he gets to the 15, a good open field tackle by Robert Alexander, number 31. And so the Bears will start from there at the 16. As you see, the Rams went 98 yards in 14 plays, a 1-yard score by Dickerson, and 6:24 valuable time used up on the clock. The Bears are up against it with 13:54 remaining in regulation time. And so they bring him out with McMahon continuing at quarterback, Suhey, and Payton the running back. Dickerson with 105 yards on the day rushing. To McKinnon, complete for a first down. He is spun around by Johnny Johnson. And that perfectly timed pass gives the Bears a first down out at the 26-yard line. They put the ball down right on the marker, but they haven't moved the sticks yet.
Mike Ditka wishes he could get in this football game, I'm sure. You know, one thing is the Rams are going in with 2 new cornerbacks. You know, the whole cornerback situation has been unsettled, but the Bears really haven't taken advantage of that. The one touchdown pass they got was a, you know, kind of a wild one. They haven't really taken advantage of the Rams' injury.
First down, Suhey in motion. Short drop, McMahon pressured out by Youngblood. Can't find a man and stepped out of bounds at the 30. for a gain of 4. It'll be 2nd and 6. Well, a lot of the activity already over this afternoon in the NFL, and you see Minnesota in the Central Division fell to 6 and 4. Green Bay at 5 and 5. Detroit 4 and 5. Everybody hanging in there, and even Tampa Bay finally got a victory. And next week, of course, with those standings the way they are, Green Bay and Minnesota is a big one on CBS Sports.
It's amazing how the Central Division looked like Minnesota was going to run away with it, but every year everything always comes back together.
Right. They kind of fold up into the middle of the pack. And next week, Green Bay and Minnesota, the big one that most of you will be seeing that game. 2nd and 6 for the Bears. Suhey starts in motion one way, back the other. Up the middle, complete to the tight end, Moorhead. First down to the 42-yard line of the Bears. Carl Eckern and Jim Collins, the middle linebackers, and the 3-4 combined on the hit. And there's Carl Eckern, who has 72 tackles coming into the football game, 54 solo. The man who was on injured reserve a year ago did not play in that wild game between the Bears and the Rams December 26th. Gary Jeter has come in on the nose, replacing DeJournay, number 70. For the Los Angeles Rams. First down, and McMahon running out of time in there. It's finally dropped. Reggie Doss got him, number 71. It appeared that the tight end Saldi was open on the right side. The other two receivers downfield were well covered. And he just ran out of time as Doss made the stop.
Well, the Rams are all of a sudden becoming sackers, aren't they? After some problems the last 2 or 3 games, they have 3 sacks today and numerous times where they've pressured the quarterback and forced him out of the pocket. So the Bear offensive line has not done as good a job as they had kind of improved a little bit.
David Lewis in the game for Collins, linebacker on 2nd and 13. Complete to Payton out of the backfield, and the Rams converge on him immediately. It'll be a gain of about 5. Nolan Cromwell, at his new strong safety position this year, makes the tackle, and Mike Ditka unhappy with the way that play developed. And looking elsewhere in the NFL, in the 4th quarter, Seattle leading Denver 20-12, where you have heard from Brent Musburger that John Elway is in the game. Miami in front of San Francisco 17-14. There are 2 quality teams playing a tough game in the 4th quarter. Baltimore leading the Jets 17-7 in the 4th period. Timeout has been called by the Chicago Bears on this 3rd down situation with 11:48 to play regulation time. McMahon with Ed Hughes and Mike Ditka talks over the offense. We'll be right back.
30. Every 6 months.
Rams in front 14-7. His rookie season in the NFL, he's an impressive guy. 21-7, pardon me, a 14-point lead is what I meant to say. There's an imprint by 14. 3rd down, big play for the Bears here. They are 3 of 10 converting on 3rd down. McMahon can run for it, and he does get over the marker to the 46-yard line. Andrews, the linebacker, and the cornerback Eric Harris made the tackle on McMahon, who ran for the 1st down. So now they are at the 46 of Los Angeles. There's George Andrews, the 5-year man out of Nebraska. Solid linebacker.
Dennis McKinnon fell down right here, 85. He fell down, so McMahon could not throw to him, and he was alert as to where the 1st down situation was and hit the turf just in time.
The guy holding the marker didn't help him. He pulled away. Payton out the right side. He's got running room. Payton cut by Johnny Johnson, but he has another Bears 1st down at the 32-yard line. Johnny Johnson made what turned out to be a saving tackle on Walter, who was just getting up to full speed. A 14-yard gain.
So now he is well over 11,000 yards for his career. You knew this was going to be okay when number 26, Matt Suhey, got to the outside. Anytime you can get the up back to the outside and around the horn, you know that the running back is going to make some big yardage. So
the applause is for the sign indicating that statistic. And look at this. And also from referee Chuck Kerberling and the crowd.
not too far behind Jimmy Brown. He now ranks 4th on the all-time list, but he's only in his 9th year. Jimmy Brown's record, of course, is 12,312. Walter Payton now over 11,000, so he's only 1,200 yards away from the all-time record.
I wonder what Eric Dickerson is thinking at this very moment. Up comes the sign here in his own stadium. There's the man out there. He said Payton and Earl Campbell are the 2 active players he admires the most as running backs. He doesn't compare himself to them. He wanted to meet Walter Payton. Matt Suhey blasting forward for about 5 yards. Mel Owens made the stop, and the Bears, meanwhile, finally putting a solid drive together here and are now in scoring territory at the 28 of the Los Angeles Rams, trailing 21-7. 10:35 to play regulation time, and Suhey has picked up 23 yards and 5 carries. McMahon, by the way, has completed his last 6 passes in a row. He went through a 1 string going 1 for 8. Now he's a respectable 11 of 19 and 106 yards. Second and a long 5. He's got McKinnon open. He overthrew him. McKinnon was open, and look at McMahon has just banged himself on the helmet and is looking downfield, and I think what he was doing there was uttering an epithet.
Yes, he just overthrew him as the play worked. There was a jam down the field, and McKinnon got clear as McMahon on the quick rollout. See, and he's got good vision down the field. You'll see McKinnon break at the right of your screen. He's wide open. He just threw it too far down the field. So they are now down to a 3rd down situation, and this is the key. They've got to keep this drive alive if they're going to chance in this football game.
4 of 11 on 3rd down conversions. They made the last one. Ivory Sully is in as a nickelback for the Rams.
Blitz, all out.
Shotgun up the middle, complete. Jay Saldi, first down to the 15-yard line of the Rams. Ivory Sully, number 37, on the tackle.
Boy, did they bring everybody but the kitchen sink as all the linebackers came shooting right up the middle. McMahon spotted it, looked for Saldi over the middle, and takes a pretty good shot after he throws the ball. But there's Saldi, 81 with the catch to keep the drive alive. And this is where the area where the Bears have come up with critical mistakes that have put them out of ball games. They cannot afford a mistake here or they're out of the ball game.
The twilight zone they're in. At the 16-yard line of the Los Angeles Rams. Straight ahead, Payton. Picks up about 5, getting near the 11. Reggie Doss, Charles DeJournay combined to meet Mr. Payton. Saldi brings in the play. Bears offense a little fired up here. We've got 9:15 and counting. 14-point margin. The Rams. And if the Bears get to within 1 touchdown and lose it, that touchdown at the end of the half to Denard is certainly going to haunt them. His way through and just absolutely knocked Nolan Cromwell back about 4 yards. Got inside the 10 for a gain of about 4. Reggie Doss pulled him down from behind. Cromwell playing at strong safety. John Robinson made that change in training camp. Figured that Johnny Johnson ready to play at free safety a little faster. And he thinks that Cromwell is having his best season in some time. A Pro Bowler who Robinson felt had fallen off a bit in the last season or two, and he thinks strong safety is the better spot for him. And Cromwell's been delivering the goods. 5 for 12 on 3rd down conversions. They made their last 2. 3rd and 2. Back Suhey, and Suhey driving hard has the first down inside the 5-yard line. Eckern and Collins, the middle linebackers on the hit.
Interesting play because that time they sent Walter Payton in motion, and you figured he wasn't going to carry the ball, so Suhey was the only guy left, and there was a nice big hole. Here comes Payton, number 34. He's out of the action. And then the cut back by Suhey, and the Bears offensive line just pushed him back, and Suhey ran with good power. They're down to the 5-yard line.
Walter Payton has 62 yards. Eric Dickerson, 105. The 2 rushing stars coming into this football game this afternoon. It's been basically a defensive battle, but we've seen each team have long, sustained drives in this 4th quarter. Sully is in at nickelback. Meissner is in up front. Play action. Rolling is McMahon. He can get in. He does. Touchdown. reduced the margin. His second touchdown of the game. He caught one from Walter Payton, and he ran this one in.
How many quarterbacks in the game will catch one and run for one in a football game as McMahon follows Noah Jackson, 65, out there, follows his blocker, cuts up the field, and takes it in for the touchdown. And one thing the Bears are blessed with is two quarterbacks that can run well. Evans and McMahon.
I like the way he directed Noah Jackson's block there. He just kind of gave him a little whack on the back and said, there he is. I'll slip in behind you. Thomas for the point after. Rams move. The point after is good. And it looked like the Rams are offside, so they'll probably just wipe that off, and we'll have a 7-point ball game. So both teams showing an ability to put a long drive together.
Offside, 52 on the defense. The point is good. The 5 yards will be imposed on the kickoff.
84-yard drive in 14 plays. McMahon going the distance makes it 21-14. Goosey earlier in the game, Johnny, and he does have that kind of personality. You can see he's a very relaxed-looking young man at this point, but he's down 7 points. He's got to do more out there offensively, and the Rams, of course, have the football now, and they'll be protecting a 7-point lead, as Jim McMahon has scored twice, and they had an impressive drive, as did the Rams, for their last score. 84 yards in 14 plays.
Well, the key to the Chicago Bears for the rest of this game now will be defense. Can they hold the Rams? There are 7 minutes and 14 seconds left. If the Rams get any kind of a score, the Bears will be in trouble. So we'll see what happens as Bob Thomas prepares to kick off.
You joined us along the way, and you're wondering about that patch on the shoulder of the Bears. That is in honor of George Howard, DHS George Stanley Howard. Barry Redden is the deep man, number 30. And now you see Bob Thomas setting up what appears to be the offside kick try.
The fair catch.
And it'll be a fair catch at the 25-yard line by Doug Barnett, a defensive end, who doesn't get to do that too often, I don't imagine. He made a nice clean catch.
But at least he was thinking. There's a lot of players in this league that don't realize that you can fair catch on a kickoff just like you can a punt, and he was ready.
Mike Ditka not happy with the way that play was handled. Obviously, he didn't want Thomas to kick it that deep, and he was a little unhappy. So the Rams have a first down at their own 26-yard line. They didn't get a big return on him. I mean, that's only 6 yards over what the deep kickoff into the end zone for a touchback would have been. So if the Bears defensively can come up, they keep themselves in the ball game. If the Rams offensively can have the kind of a drive they had last time around, they're going to protect their lead. But they have called timeout, as Vince Ferragamo evidently didn't like what he saw defensively, presented by the Chicago Bears. So we'll be back with 7:08 remaining regulation time and a Ram lead. Ryan with Johnny Morris, we are back at Anaheim Stadium, where 53,010 are in attendance to watch the Rams and the Bears. And Vince Ferragamo took a timeout as they act together on first down from their 26 following the Bears touchdown. Barry Redden stops out the left side after a gain of only 1. There's defensively McMichael, Osborne, Hartenstein, and Tyrone Keys, number 98, getting his first start. Big rangy defender who came down from the Canadian Football League.
Well, Barry Redden is still in there. And I wonder if Dickerson is tired or what. You'd think that you would want Mr. Dickerson in here at this time.
He's carried 30 times today. His most number of carries this season was opening day, 31 carries. He took a day off this week. He was tired. Carried more than 200 times. Barry Redden picked up about 3. He was stopped by Singletary and Todd Bell. Let's give you a quick look at some other scores here. Miami and San Francisco having a dandy. 20-17, the Dolphins in front of the Niners. Denver and Seattle, look at this. Seattle 27-12 in the fourth quarter. Baltimore leading the Jets by 3.
Of course, the Rams are interested in that San Francisco game. If the Rams win this one and San Francisco loses, both teams would be 6-4 along with New Orleans. What a situation they have in the NFC Western Division.
Well, here's a big third down. From the 31, Rams trying to keep the ball and use the clock. They go to Dickerson. Dickerson still going. And he got the first down. They had him stopped short of the first down, it appeared. But with Eric Dickerson, boy, you better make sure. And you better have a couple of guys. Got through Mike Singletary, who's a pretty solid tackler, but Dickerson has shown he's a pretty solid running back.
I'd say they got him in the game just in time, wouldn't you? As Mike Singletary comes over, thought he had him. He got away from that, dipped to the outside, and got just enough for the first down. Eric Dickerson back in this football game, and as well as he's done, he's not averaging 4 yards a carry. You see, he's averaging about 3.7.
But he's got 111. They're getting it all out of him by the dollar. First down. David Hill is on the wing left. Dickerson cuts it back away from Hartenstein. Singletary chases him all the way to the far sideline. Mike Singletary is going to sleep well tonight.
What a move. He dipped to the outside and just fooled the entire Bear defense.
I don't think he wanted to go back over there, but boy, when he can go where he wants to, obviously.
It was a natural reaction, and it worked out. You have, but every great runners have natural reactions, and you look at the NCAA today, next week.
12 o'clock Eastern time. It'll be UCLA and Arizona Pac-10 action. And the Bruins are unbeaten in Pac-10 play. They're 5-3-1 overall. That's next Saturday Eastern time. College football on CBS Sports. Well, they gave Dickerson a 2-play break, and they're going to give him another little breather now on 2nd and 1. Barry Redden, a good hole, pulled down by Hartenstein, but he has another Ram first down. So these two defensive teams starting to show a little wear and tear, as the Rams had a long drive from their 2 that resulted in the score that made it 21-7, and then the Bears marched it the other way, used up some energy of the Rams defense and scored to make it 21-14. And now it looks like the Rams are doing the same thing again the other way.
They're down to almost 5 minutes left in the game as Mike Ditka realizes that they have got to stop this drive or the Bears aren't going to get a chance to get back in it.
First down, Los Angeles.
To the air.
Fake, pump, and down the field, and the receiver stumbled. Henry Ellard. Ellard fell down. They're complaining, the Rams, that should be interference, but it looked to me like he just stumbled.
Well, I think there might have been a tangle of the feet there, but it was accidental entanglement. They must be ruling it. Anyway, he went down, and interesting, the Rams went for the short out and up, the long bomb, after getting a first down, and that stops the clock and puts them into a 2nd and 10 situation. So what they were doing so well, they decided they were going to try and break the game and go with it. So now, actually, that turns out to be a break for the Bears. They've got him in a passing situation, and it stopped the clock.
4:49 remaining regulation time. 7-point Rams lead. Dickerson takes it up the middle and got about 4, maybe 5 before he's driven back. Osborne was there. Keys was there. Middle linebacker Singletary is usually there. Eric Dickerson and Singletary ought to go out to dinner with each other tonight and just talk about what a tough, long day it was out there.
It hasn't been decided who's going to pay you either.
No, that's for sure.
One thing now is an interesting decision. You have a 3rd and about 7. Will they go with Dickerson on the run, pitch out to the right or the left, or will they go to the air? Dickerson has done it a couple of times in the key situations. This is a big decision for John Robinson.
33 carries, 124 yards for Dickerson. Farmer and Denard out to the left now. Farmer in motion to the right. Dickerson right. Comes inside, and a good tackle on the corner. It was Dave Dewerson and Mike Richardson combining to pull him down after he had busted through one tackle. And the Chicago defense, if they're tired, they came up big there. They put the Rams into a punting situation. This young man, by the way, Dave Dewerson, has played a solid game defensively today in his first start out of Notre Dame, starting in that safety spot normally occupied by Gary Fenton. Nisco into punt for the Rams. Well, we're going to have ourselves a finish here, Johnny. 3:33. McKinnon waiting for it at the 10-yard line. Nisco standing at his own 44. 7-yard line by Howard Carson, who's been the first man down there all afternoon for the Rams.
Well, I don't know about that one. McKinnon fielded the ball on the 5-yard line, so it's going to make it about a 93-yard drive if they're going to tie up this football game.
I was going to ask you whether you thought he should have let that drop, but which way would it have bounced? We'll never know. We'll be back.
As a relief pitcher.
Kim Ryan, Johnny Morris, 3:09 remaining. We are at Anaheim Stadium. The Rams protecting a 7-point lead. The Bears went 84 yards the last time they had the football. They are starting from their 8-yard line here. McMahon to Moorhead. Hit by Eckern near the 15. A pickup of about 7. Jim Collins in on the tackle as well. Moorhead, the tight end, number 87, goes off as Mike Ditka sends in the play with Jay Saldi, number 81. 2nd and 3. Sports Saturday next week features the Remsen Stakes 1983 World Figure Skating Championships, champions in skating exhibitions, and John Madden's Journeys. A look at NFL players who are living with their football injuries. 4 o'clock Eastern Time. 2nd down, McMahon running out of time, gets away from Jeter. Runs right into Reggie Doss. Loss on the play. Back to the 10-yard line, a loss of about 3. McMahon not happy with the lack of time he had on that play.
He made a nice move to get out of the pressure from Jeter, but there were too many other Rams around. So 3rd and 7, you know the Rams are going to be playing fairly soft, so it's got to be something where one of the receivers goes down and turns in. They're going to, I don't think the pattern will be much longer than 10 yards.
2:06 and counting. 3rd down. Sully is in as a nickelback for the Rams, and they are going to stop play for the 2-minute warning. It'll be 3rd and about 7. And we have 2 minutes remaining in regulation time at Anaheim Stadium. The Los Angeles Rams and the Bears in a defensive struggle. The Rams lead it by 7. Now or never for the Chicago Bears. 3rd and 7 from their own 11-yard line. 4 down linemen for the Rams, as their defense has done the job all afternoon, and they're being called upon one more time to stop the Bears here. The Bears drove them for 84 yards the last time they had the ball. But if they can stop them here, they've probably got themselves the ball game. Out of the shotgun, Doss. Oh, a quick flip to Moorhead, and it is a 1st down play. What a play by the Bears. Doss barreling in on Jim McMahon, who made the perfect little push pass to Moorhead, an 11-yard pickup.
And he came down inside the line of scrimmage, number 87. You'll see him, and McMahon just pitches it forward. That's the pass, folks, and he turns up the field, surprised the Rams, and got the 1st down. The drive is still alive as Emery Moorhead, the former wide receiver, now a tight end, did the job.
Eric Harris made the tackle on him. That was indeed a big play, a bold play, and it worked. They've still got a long way to go from the 21. Matt Suhey is hit immediately. Did not get much. Couple. Carl Eckern, number 55, on the tackle. 110. And they're in the hurry-up. 1:04 and counting, and McMahon still calling out the play, using up a lot of time here. They're under a minute now. Up the middle, complete to Jay Saldi. Saldi has a 1st down to the 35. And they call timeout with 48 seconds remaining. Collins and Johnson on the tackle. The ball at the 35-yard line with the Bears timeout. So we've got ourselves a thrilling finish here with 48 seconds remaining. The Rams and the Bears, and the Rams lead it by 7. 48 seconds remaining regulation time. McMahon has hit on 11 of his last 12 for 108 yards. He is now 16 of 25 and 149 yards total.
Most of them have been short ones. They're going to have to get it down the field now with 48 seconds because a field goal won't do it. They need the touchdown.
Deep drop, short pass. Suhey with blockers in front, and he is knocked forward. Picked up only about 6, maybe 7 on the play. Reggie Doss knocked him down. 36 seconds and counting. How about that play, Johnny?
I don't know.
2nd down. Away from the rush of the blitzing linebacker Owens, trying to find somebody. and gets out of bounds with 20 seconds on the clock. They're at midfield. First down at the 50-yard line. They've got one timeout remaining.
And that was Ed Hughes, the offensive coordinator, who gave McMahon a play. Now your strategy really becomes you have 20 seconds to go. A field goal won't do the job. You've got one timeout. You just can't throw anything short underneath. You've got to throw it down the field. You have no chance.
Would you not try to get the ball to the fastest guy on the field?
Did you see how the Rams scored that touchdown before the half? They threw the ball down there and hoped for something, and they got something out of it. That's the position the Bears are in right now. The Rams are going to be dropping way off, but you got to go for something.
He's in trouble. Gets the ball off to Suhey. Suhey slow to get started, looking for blockers now. A flag down. 10 seconds on the clock. Did not get the first down. That is not a big factor at this point. The ball is at the 44-yard line. They're going to spot it right on the 45. And the penalty is against the Chicago Bears. So they'll march it back. And that was a big penalty there. But it was a scrambling play, an improvised play, and that's when you can get that kind of a penalty. Everybody's so eager to do something to help out the busted play. As he could not find a man downfield, he went
personal
to
foul,
Suhey.
Flipping, number 34, offense on the run.
Walter
First
Payton.
down.
Walter Payton. And as I say, I think that's the kind of a play that'll happen on. You know, you're just trying to make something happen out of nothing, and you do whatever you can, and Payton blocked the man from behind. 10 seconds left. The Rams, very much in the thick of it in the NFC West, want this victory to move to 6-4. They're 10 seconds away from it, out of the shotgun.
The Rams don't have that many people that far down the field.
They finally go to Willie Gall, who's out of bounds with 3 seconds left at the 40-yard line.
Well, they finally threw to Willie Gall anyway.
Yeah, that is the one big question mark I have about their offensive plan today, especially when they were down here in these last few minutes. You got to get it to the guy who can break the game for you. And it doesn't have to be 40 yards downfield. Throw it 15 or 20 yards downfield where he can get a little running room. Even if he's double covered, you know he can run behind people. 3 seconds left. Bashnagel, McKinnon, and Galt, the wide receivers. And the Rams are dropping way back, everybody back. McMahon steps up, throws it deep to the corner. Galt just took a man out of the end zone. The ball was overthrown. And it is incomplete, and that'll be it. There's John Robinson as the Los Angeles Rams outlasted the Chicago Bears. Neither team brilliant offensively, but Eric Dickerson was. And the Rams pick up their 6th victory to go to 6-4, and the Chicago Bears fall to 3-7. So the Rams very much in it in the NFC West. The Saints, the 49ers, it's going to be quite a battle the rest of the way. Mike Ditka has to go home enduring the pain of yet another defeat. This is his 2nd season as the head coach of the Chicago Bears. So for Johnny Morris, this is Tim Ryan saying so long from Anaheim Stadium. The final score, the Rams 21, the Chicago Bears 14. You've been watching CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League.